way possible for them to get out of the country.
Pentagon spokesman Brigadier General Pat Ryder says right now it doesn't appear there are large numbers of Americans wanting to leave. Some U.S. citizens had joined a UN convoy, the U.S. military flying surveillance drones over land routes and moving ships to help if needed. President Biden meeting this afternoon with 3 state lawmakers from Tennessee who faced recent expulsion votes for leading a protest in the state house days after a deadly shooting at a Christian school in Nashville. The White House says they're discussing legislative strategies on reducing gun violence. A deadly shooting on a college campus in central Oklahoma.
Police in Midwest City, Oklahoma say what began as a domestic situation between 2 males escalated into a shooting near Rose State College's administrative building. The student says she sheltered in place with a witness.
She just took off running to where we were and told us, hey, we saw it happen, and told us that there was only one guy, that he had a pistol.
We're being told that 1 male was killed, the other taken into custody. The school still swarming with police from multiple agencies as buildings are being cleared.
Fox's Jeff Manasso. Midwest City is a suburb of Oklahoma City. President Biden offering thanks to all of the nation's teachers.
Teaching is not just what you do, it's who you are. It's who you are.
He's hosting teachers being honored from around the country, including Teacher of the Year, Rebecca Peterson from Oklahoma. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
It's going to be chilly for a while. 51 degrees, cloudy in downtown Indianapolis. Clear radar, though. You've got a low of 36 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:02. The calendar says it's April, but it probably doesn't feel that way to you. John Herrick reports on what's coming next.
Not even a week ago, it was near 80 degrees in most places across Indiana. That has changed with low temperatures across the state, dropping to below 30 early Monday morning.
There might be a light at the end of this tunnel. Looking out there into early May, it looks like we might actually have some nice spring-like weather. Fingers crossed, and we'll have to see how that pans out.
Alex McGinnis with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis says there might be some light rain this week, but nothing severe. You may even see frost at times in the early morning hours. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
When it comes to former Vice President and Indiana Governor Mike Pence possibly running for president in 2024.
I would tell you that I'm very humbled by the encouragement that we're receiving, and I promise when we have something to announce, you'll be among the first to know.
He tells CBS's Face the Nation that he'll make an announcement in June. The Indianapolis Public Schools Board is looking for votes to upgrade 23 school buildings.
We just believe our students deserve to be able to learn in upgraded, modernized, warm, safe, and comfortable buildings.
IPS Superintendent Dr. Alicia Johnson on Wish TV. She believes that a property tax increase of $3 a month would be a small price to pay for those improvements. The Fire Department International Conference is a week-long takeover of downtown Indianapolis. That includes Lucas Oil Stadium, which has gone through a makeover this year.
So they have transformed the field into a cityscape. Instead of aisles, there's streets, and we've named those streets after firefighters that are no longer with us.
And there's also plenty of classes for firefighters, says Chief David Rhodes, Education Director for FDIC on WIBC's first day. Tomorrow, you'll hear how FDIC is trying to fight back against toxic chemicals and how they're helping firefighters from Ukraine. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:04.
Michaelis presents Password. Is basement.
Musty.
Shoes.
No. Damp.
Your hair.
Try, subterranean.
Oh, tunnel.
Smelly.
Burps.
Sheesh. Try basement.
Oh, well, burps are smelly too.
Ugh.
Basement waterproofing and French drains. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it.
Call today. Make it Michaelis.
Come on, take your basement back. 844-FIX-INDY.
With traffic on the 5s at 3:05, here's Matt Baer.
All right, Harrison, northbound 37 is grinding right now, already from Mepler Avenue to 465. It is a I-69 work zone. And then northbound 465 on the east side, a little bit slow, east 56 to 75th. Traffic sponsored by Lowe's. Hurry and shop the final days of Springfest at Lowe's. Save big on all you need for spring inside and outside the home. Shop Lowe's today because Lowe's knows home improvement. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Partly cloudy, chilly throughout the afternoon. A high only of 55. Will stay partly cloudy tonight. Cold with some patchy areas of frost. A low down to 37. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Marcus Bailey for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock it.
Well, this just sucks. I mean, I'm in a crap mood. My nightly routine has been changed forever, for the worse, with the news that Tucker Carlson is out at Fox.
I swear to God. You were the first person I thought of. It wasn't Tucker. It wasn't his family. It wasn't anybody that has to do with this inner circle. The first person I thought of was, damn, poor Nigel.
Tucker Carlson out at Fox. Last show was Friday. He didn't seem to really be aware that it was his last show. I watched the show Friday. He said, yeah, we'll be back Monday. Nope, he is out at Fox. Here's how the routine goes. Put the kids to bed. The wife is in the other room watching bad reality TV, and I sit down with a cocktail and decompress and watch Tucker. Every night for the past however many years he's been on the air, ever since he took over for Bill O'Reilly. And now, I guess it's back to watching bad reality TV shows with my wife.
Thanks, Tucker. You're making me watch bad reality shows in bed with my wife. I hope you're proud of yourself. So at this point, everybody is saying that they have agreed to part ways. It's been my experience in this industry, Nige, of broadcasting, whether it be radio or TV, that there's never really an agreement to part ways. One side says, we're going to do this, and I think you should say that that's the deal. That's the way it's always been.
Yeah, we don't.
And like you said, Tucker signed off on Friday, didn't make it look like that was the last show.
He did that segment with the pizza guy that stopped the carjacker. And so he had the pizza guy bring in some pizza, and they were eating, and, right up until the end of the segment, he was like, all right, we'll see everybody Monday. Here's what's coming up Monday, blah, 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 blah. So something happened between Friday and this morning. I don't think we'll ever really know. There's a lot of conspiracy theories going on right now. I mean, Fox News has just settled that Dominion voting lawsuit, and they've got another huge similar lawsuit creeping up on them. Maybe it has something to do with that.
But they just did Bongino the same way. Now, Dan Bongino in no way is at the upper echelon level that Tucker Carlson is over at Fox. But I'm sure Dan wasn't working for cheap over there. He wasn't doing that for free. So they blow out Dan Bongino, and then they tell him retroactively, oh, by the way, that was your last show. And they do the same thing to Tucker Carlson.
But he's the network's star by far. And Fox News, upon hearing that that Tucker was no longer with the company, the stock went plummeting.
Oh, it took a nosedive.
Listen to this. Let's see these numbers. For the week ending April 16th, Tucker Carlson Tonight was the most watched show for the week with a total audience of 3.389 million viewers. 419,000 of those viewers are in the key demo of adults 25 to 54. So... what? I don't know. What's your theory?
I think Fox News needs Tucker Carlson more than Tucker Carlson needs Fox News. Now, I had every intention of coming on here and just starting the rumor, Trump Tucker 2024. But I'm not going to do that.
Dude, if Trump were smart, he'd get on Twitter and immediately do that with like a bunch of question marks afterwards.
Trump Tucker, question mark, question mark, question mark. Just get everybody fired up. Could you imagine? I want to play you a piece of audio here, okay? So, over the weekend, Tucker Carlson was doing some sort of event with the Heritage Foundation, and their president is Kevin Roberts. Yeah. This was Friday night. This was after Tucker's, what you could view now as his final show ever at Fox News. Take a listen to the little conversation they had on the stage.
Things go south at Fox News, there's always a job for you at Heritage.
Well, you've saved me before, so thank you.
We do that for a lot of people very happily. We're not called America's Outpost for nothing.
Wow, some ominous foreshadowing there.
So now, let's go to the drivecubler.com hotline and bring on our pal Tony Kennett.
Hey, buddy.
Tony Kennett with the Daily Signal, and you know the folks at the Heritage Foundation pretty well, Tony. Were you there for that Tucker Carlson speech?
I sure was. It was the 50th celebration, and I had a table fairly close to the stage, and I must say it was one of the best speeches I've ever heard. And I'm not saying that just because it makes for good radio. I mean, really, it was a phenomenal speech. He talked about the need to pray for our country. He talked about how he was to a point in our society where he was sick of not calling things that were clearly evil. It was a very pensive speech, and I honestly, this news blew everyone out of the water today. I mean, no one was expecting this. We didn't have no one at the Daily Wire, at the Daily Signal, over with our friends at Fox. No one had any idea what this was going to happen.
So thinking about that speech now, like going back and playing a little Monday morning quarterback now, was there anything in that speech where you thought, oh, maybe he was hinting something when he said this?
So he was very, very thoughtful in a way that I don't necessarily think that I've seen him when he'd spoken before. He went like 10 minutes over his expected speech time. I was one of the people that was kind of covering it, but I was also enamored with the speech, just on it, again, in transparency. I was enjoying it and didn't quite notice. He went over and he kept using language that was very moralistic. So it wasn't just saying, a lot of Americans don't like this. People are going to put up with this. He came to a point where he said a lot of what the progressive left is doing in regards to transgenderism, in regards to firing people that they don't agree with for woke reasons, he says that is evil. And then he also encouraged us and said himself, he's like, I was encouraged by this prayer that we had to start the evening. He's like, I need to be praying for my country more. To me, what that says is perhaps he knew something wasn't right. Now, of course, his senior producer also left with him today, who's a very, very good guy, also left and exited Fox as well. So
what do you think happened? Like, I think there's new skittish, sensitive type of leadership there at Fox News. Paul Ryan, for God's sake, is on the board. He hates taking heat for conservatives. Like what do you think? I mean, the speculation is endless at this point, but what do you think's going on here?
Well, you really think that after Anschauer Busch that they would have made some kind of so I wrote an article recently that Donald Trump Jr. defending Bud Light was the stupidest thing I had seen in months. What an idiot move.
Saw that.
And then to turn around now here, Fox News is turning around, and it looks like Fox News is the crew that cut the cord with Tucker, again, pointing out that Tucker said, hey, we'll be back on Monday. Fox News is the one that ended it, and it has already tanked their market value. $1 billion in market value. In one day, trading isn't even over. I mean, all of this stuff just points out that there are a lot of corporate establishment individuals who are trusting a lot of 90s trending models of we don't want to be too spicy, we don't want to, and that's a really stupid decision.
Tony, again, this is just a couple guys talking here. This is just us throwing things out there because we don't really know. Could you see this being part of the settlement that Fox had with Dominion to where maybe Dominion says, all right, we're going to knock a couple $100 million off of this settlement? Because originally it was over $1 billion. I think Fox settled for like $750 million or close to that. But we want Tucker Carlson gone.
That would have to have been the most backroom of backroom deals because there's already a lot of legal issues with that being one of the conditions. And that's from what I heard from the legal shop inside Heritage today. That's probably not what happened. However, I guess, honestly, I think that it would have been worth it to just take more financial loss and keep your biggest cash cow in existence. Again, biggest show on cable for another $100 million. Okay, I guess.
I mean, that stock crash today with Fox News is a lot worse than anything that Dominion could have done to him.
Right.
And it's not like Fox can recover and fix that. So like Anshar Bush, they fired the market executive. Gillette has released no more toxic masculinity commercials. How does Fox save face from this? Who can they get that's going to beat this bad decision? I genuinely do not see a way out for them.
I have a person. Maybe they could replace him with Don Lemon. He needs a job now, too.
Don Lemon is on the market now and is available. He got the boot today, too.
Well, he's past his prime.
That's right. All right, Tony Kennett with the Daily Signal. We'll talk to you again on Wednesday, my friend.
Sounds good, guys. Take care.
I will say I texted a friend of the show, Alex Berenson, who knows Tucker and is on that program quite often. And I'm like, do you think this was because of the Dominion stuff? And Alex immediately replied, not really. I think there's probably a ridiculous streaming deal waiting for him.
So if you're Bezos or if you're somebody that runs one of these major streaming outlets, you put down a 7-figure deal for Tucker Carlson to do his show exclusively on your streaming platform.
Oh, more than 7.
I mean, if you're
that's multiples of millions of dollars, tens of millions. I mean, we're talking $1 billion. I bet. Like if what's his face Crowder got offered, that Steven Crowder dude got offered $50 million.
That's right. I forgot.
What's Tucker Carlson?
For online stuff and streaming.
Yeah.
Which tells you how big that is. But if you're Amazon Prime, think about what they paid for the NFL. Now think about whether or not old Bezos would be willing to double down. But would that liberal goon spend that kind of money for Tucker Carlson? I don't think he would. But Don Lemon, he also got fired today from CNN. Don Lemon put out a snarky little tweet saying, I can't believe they didn't reach out to me. I found out from my agent, to which CNN then put out their own tweet basically saying, yeah, he's full of crap. So this was not a good breakup at all over at CNN. No. Matt Baer, crazy day in the world of media. What's going on with you?
Well, we have a crash on the east side right now, 38th and Post. Northbound 37 drags from Edgewood on up to 465 because of construction. And northbound 465 slows off east of 56 up to 75th. Traffic sponsored by Freegie and Freegie Auctioneers. Freegie and Freegie Auctioneers invite you to the Big Boy Toy Auction on April 29th in Clayton. Vintage cars and more. Bid live or online at FREIJEauctioneers.com. License AC 3120002. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Cloudy skies, 51 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. Coming up next, we got some legal stuff, and then Guy Relford will join us in studio about 3:35. We are loaded, crazy news day today. Stay with us. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Preventive maintenance works. Well cleaning and bacteria sampling with offer code SPRING23. Call C&J at 317-852-WELL or cjforwater.com.
I don't like to walk downtown anymore. Only when I have to. Even during the day, there's so many out on the street, aggressive. I mean, I feel terrible for them, but at the same time, I don't feel safe. Every night, there's another story on the news. Another shooting, something violent. And it's not even in one area, it's all over the city. Just the other day, a woman was robbed at gunpoint at church. At church. I heard that so far this year, our murder rate is higher than Chicago. Chicago! I'm proud of Indianapolis. That's just not what I think of, what I think Indianapolis should be. The only thing I can think to do differently is I have to vote differently, starting now, until it gets better. So I'm going to vote for Shreve in May. Maybe Hogsett gets the message. Or maybe we get a new mayor in November.
Paid for by Shreve for mayor.
Mark Diedel's a pro, just an expert real estate agent. Mark Diedel's guarantee is this. He guarantees your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or he's going to buy it. After Samantha in Fairland's father passed away, she needed to sell his home and estate, but wasn't sure where to start. Heard about Mark Dietel on our show to call to see what they could do, and they made it easy and handled everything with compassion and professionalism. Had the home sold one day for cash, closed in under 3 weeks.
There's only one agent that we recommend and that we trust here on the Hammer and Nigel show, and that's Mark Dietel. Mark Dietel has the guarantee that he'll sell your home, and if he can't do it, he'll buy it. That is the Mark Dietel guarantee. That's what separates him from everybody else. That's what makes him the best. 317-755-4232 or go to markdietel.com. That's Mark, D-I-E-T-E-L, markdietel.com. Be sure to tell him Hammer and Nigel sent you.
For the first time ever since opening its doors, the Indianapolis Men's Clinic is now the only men's health organization offering an intimacy guarantee. That's right. If you don't perform, you don't pay. You heard that right. Restoring intimacy is important to everyone. Helping men with a proven solution is what drives success. That's why the Indianapolis Men's Clinic stands by their intimacy guarantee. Now you will have the assurance and confidence of proven outcomes without the fear of financial loss. By using the latest technology for the treatment of ED, acoustic wave therapy uses pressure waves to open existing blood vessels, which restores spontaneity and intimacy for you and your loved one. Stop trusting companies that feed you empty promises with no results. Trust an intimacy guarantee. Trust the Indianapolis Men's Clinic. Call the Indianapolis Men's Clinic today. 317-999-9000. That's 317-999-9000 or IndianapolisMen'sClinic.com.
This is Scott Willis running for mayor of Westfield. As a colonel in the United States Marines, I stood up for our country, our families, and our values. As mayor, I have the leadership and vision to make Westfield a world-class city. How do we build a world-class city without losing the qualities we love? We do it with transparency, integrity, and smart leadership. I am a lifelong Republican. I'll work to diversify our tax base and to lower residential taxes. On Election Day, experience matters. I'm Scott Willis, and I'd be honored to have your vote.
Paid for by Willis for Westfield.
Finding great people to hire can be like trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Their powerful matching technology delivers so many qualified candidates, it's like finding a needle in a needle stack. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. For less hay and more needles, head to ZipRecruiter.
And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Reinhardt Heating and Cooling, your American Standard air dealer in Danville.
Crime, punishment, judges, legal stuff.
Jury selection, Hammer, beginning today in New York in a copyright trial against singer-songwriter Ed Sheeran.
Another copyright trial. He's already been through one. This is a separate one.
He's being sued over his song Thinking Out Loud. The plaintiffs claim it copied the Marvin Gaye classic. Let's get it on.
So last year, if you remember, Ed Sheeran won a court battle. Somebody was saying that his song Shape of You sounded like something else.
Right.
So this isn't anything new to Ed Sheeran, but I've mixed up Ed Sheeran's song Thinking Out Loud with Marvin Gaye's Let's Get It On. I've mixed the two together. Tell me if you think they sound similar, okay?
Baby, my trying to hold back this feeling for so long. Heart could still fall less. Heart at 23.
Whoa.
And if you feel like I feel, and I'm thinking about how. Come on.
I could be doing a duet for all I know right there.
And all I did was put one song at the end of another clip. It wasn't like I mashed it together or did some sort of remix. That was cut, paste, cut, paste.
In the same key?
Yes.
Whoa.
I think we got a ball game here.
Wow.
In this court hearing. Allison, you heard that, right? Now, I know Marvin Gaye well before your era, but you hear that Ed Sheeran song played with the Marvin Gaye song in it. It sounds the same, right?
Yeah, it sounds really similar. Absolutely.
Everybody knows Let's Get It On.
Right.
So, that's instantly recognizable.
One of the great songs of all time. That's one of my go-tos at karaoke, too. A very highly inappropriate version of Let's Get It On.
I thought you were going to say it's one of your go-tos in the bedroom. You have Alexa play Let's Get It On.
No, that would be the
Crystal?
thong song by Cisco. I do like Ed Sheeran, though. Like, he's kind of this quirky little ginger guy, but he's actually pretty fun.
One of the most profitable tours over the past 5 years. Hundreds of millions of dollars, I believe, back in 2017, 2018.
And as a wedding DJ, former wedding DJ, he puts out there some songs that get played a lot at weddings. A lot of first dance ballads by Ed Sheeran. But it's also fun when he covers some songs out of his comfort zone. So whenever Ed Sheeran does like a live show or like a radio interview, he brings his guitar and he does acoustic versions of fun songs. Tell me which one of these is your favorite, okay? Here's Ed Sheeran doing a cover of 50 Cent's In the Club.
You can find me in the club, bottle full of bubble and mommy. I got the extra, giving and taking drugs, and having sex, I ain't into making love. So come give me a hug, feeling it getting rough. When I pull up out front, see the Benz on dub. When I roll 20 deep, so always drama in the club. People heard I with Dre, now they wanna show me love. So like Eminem and the hoes, they wanna.
So that's 50 Cent's In the Club.
All right.
Do you like that better or less than doing the cover of Genuine's Pony?
Go when I break you off. I promise you I won't wanna get off. If you're horny, let's do it. Ride it, my pony.
I like this better.
Waiting, so come and jump on it. If you're horny, let's do it.
It's kind of bluesy.
I like it, yeah. I like that one better than 50 Cent.
All right, so this is the last one here. If Pony is better than 50 Cent, where are we at with Britney Spears' Hit Me Baby One More Time?
My loneliness is killing me, and I must confess, I still believe.
That's pretty good.
When you're not with me, I lose my mind. Give me a sign. Hit me, baby, one more time.
That might be actually better than the original.
Allison, weigh in. Rank these 1 through 3. 50 Cent, Pony, or Hit Me Baby One More Time.
I'm with Nigel. I love the Britney cover. And then Genuine's pretty good too. And then I'll put 50 Cent last.
Hit us up on social media at Hammer and Nigel. 1, do you think we have a ball game with this lawsuit with Marvin Gaye? And 2, your favorite Ed Sheeran cover at Hammer and Nigel, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We do the whole thing.
Mom, Dad, Sis?
Here we go again.
Why are you in a suit? Picture, if you will, a world with the best network imaginable. I'm talking about the Xfinity 10G network. Go on. Mom, remember how your reality shows wouldn't load with all of us online? Now you can binge. And Susie, we'll have fast internet in the basement.
Nice.
If you have any questions, here's my card.
This is just your name on a gum wrapper.
Introducing the 10G network only from Xfinity. The future starts now. Now through June 21st, new customers can get 200 megabit per second internet on the next generation Xfinity 10G network for just $35 a month for 2 years. Plus, there's no annual contract required and you get Wi-Fi equipment included. Go to Xfinity.com/10G, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Taxes and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply. Actual speeds vary.
You see them coming in your rearview mirror. Big trucks can cause big wrecks on our Indiana roads.
I'm attorney Daryl Isaacs, the Hammer. We're here to stop these big trucks and their big insurance companies. If you've been injured by a dump truck, delivery truck, concrete truck, or any kind of big truck, we'll fight to get you every dollar you deserve.
Click and get help quick at WeWin.com. That's WeWin.com.
It's time to vote, Indy. It's easier to vote if you have a plan. You can vote early in the 2023 primary election now through May 1st, or at any vote center in Marion County on Election Day, Tuesday, May 2nd. Go to vote.indy.gov for all the information you need to make your vote plan, including locations, deadlines, and sample ballots. That's vote.indy.gov. Message paid for by the Marion County Election Board.
Indy's biggest party is back. Miller Lite Carb Day, Friday, May 26th, with Brian Adams. With special guest Soul Asylum. Miller Lite Carb Day, May 26th at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Concert pit and VIP tickets on sale now at ims.com.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Colder than you might have expected. Cloudy with temperatures in the 50s downtown. Clear radar, lows drop to the mid-30s later. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:30. It's been a cold start to the week, but it gets slightly warmer as the week goes on.
We're expecting for today, highs in the mid-50s. Tomorrow and into Wednesday, highs closer to 60.
Alex McGinnis with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis says there are small chances of rain this week, but no severe weather is expected. Former Vice President and Indiana Governor Mike Pence was in Iowa this weekend. He hasn't committed to a presidential run in 2024, but hasn't ruled it out either.
The challenges that we're facing in this economy with inflation at a 40-year high are going to require someone who has the ability to step in on day one.
Pence tells CBS's Face the Nation he plans on making an announcement in June. He spoke at the Iowa Faith and Free Coalition, the annual spring kickoff. Former President Trump spoke there remotely. Other Republican candidates were also there in person. One person is dead. Another has been taken into custody after a shooting at Rose State College in Oklahoma today. An active shooter alert was sent out to students at a nearby high school. They were put in lockdown. The shooting happened between two buildings. Those are now taped off for investigators. U.S. officials are working to protect Americans from the violence in Sudan. Fox's Kristen Goodwin reports.
U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken says officials are in close communication with Americans looking to leave Sudan as violence escalates.
We're taking further steps to support Americans and are exploring options to return a diplomatic and consular presence to Sudan as soon as possible.
Explaining dozens of Americans have expressed an interest in leaving, many who are dual citizens, adding the U.S. was pressing military leaders in the country to extend and widen a ceasefire. Kristen Goodwin, Fox News.
The president of South Korea will be visiting the White House later this week. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan said the meeting with Biden will be to celebrate the 70th anniversary of the U.S. and South Korea alliance. They're also expected, though, to chat about the threat of North Korea and also the war in Ukraine. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:32.
Indiana has a long history of pioneering education freedom and empowering families who know what's best for their children. But as universal education freedom sweeps the nation in states like Iowa, Arizona, Arkansas, West Virginia, Utah, and Florida, Hoosiers are at risk of being left behind unless we act now. Indiana lawmakers have an opportunity to ensure all Hoosiers can exercise their right to decide what education is best for their child, where they learn, how they learn. The time is now for Indiana to regain its status as a leader by delivering universal access to education freedom for every Hoosier. The time is now for Indiana to ensure our children get the education they deserve so they can compete with every state in America and every country around the globe. Contact your state senator today and tell them now is the time to put our kids first and pass universal school choice. Paid for by Yes Every Kid.
With traffic at 3:33, here's Matt Bear.
East side crash at 38th the Post. Northbound 465 stop and go. East 56 to 75th. At northbound 37 grinds. Edgewood Avenue up to 465. It is a construction zone. Traffic sponsored by Indy Decorative Concrete. Imagine the possibilities of getting the backyard of your dreams. Expand your living space with an Indy Decorative Concrete patio. Indy Decorative Concrete, the patio experts. Big enough to service, small enough to care. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
For tonight, clouds increase. Scattered showers look to move into central Indiana close to pre-dawn. Low temperature 37 degrees. Tuesday, scattered showers are expected through much of the day. High of 59. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
The only way to bag a classy lady is to give her 2 tickets to the gun show.
It's Monday Gun Day with the Gun Guy.
Just watch out for the guns. They'll get you.
Guy Relford.
Stop calling your arms guns.
Hammer and Nigel show.
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer is here. The gun guy, Guy Relford, joining us live in studio. Second Amendment attorney and licensed firearms instructor. How are you?
Man, I'm great. And thanks as always to our sponsor, Fort Liberty Firearms in Avon, now featuring a new safe room where you can shop for new gun safes or otherwise at their 8401 East Highway 36 in Avon and FortLibertyFirearms.com.
So many issues to get to.
Man,
I figure we just open up with the biggest news story of the day, that Fox News parting ways with Tucker Carlson. Your thoughts? Doesn't make any sense to me, but
it makes no sense to me. And I'm hoping, and again, as I always do, I'm listening to you guys this afternoon, especially on my way down here, and I think maybe you may have tagged it, which is maybe he's got some ultra streaming deal that he just can't say no to.
Sure, some billion-dollar.
Yeah, for some, tens or hundreds of millions of dollars.
I mean, he's not going to be hurting. Even if Rupert Murdoch did push him out in some way and his producers out in some way, Tucker's going to be just fine.
Yeah, I agree. But you know what? If what I'm worried about is Tucker's going to be great. And I personally watch Tucker pretty much every evening. And I personally, my wife is going to be devastated.
I was devastated.
Your wife and Nigel need to start a support group together.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, me too. I mean, I like watching Tucker, and I'm not a complete, Fox fanboy. I mean, I can take Hannity about 60% of the time. I mean, the live audience I don't really like. I mean, okay, news versus commentary, I get it. But I'm not a complete Fox fanboy, but I like Tucker. And so I'm personally disappointed for my own personal loss because I like listening to him. I think he'll be fine. What I'm more worried about is if this is some sign, and I'm not saying this is, but I hope it's not. I hope it's not some sign that this is Fox saying we're going to start bowing to the pressure. We're going to start giving into the, to the hate crowd, that this is a capitulation as part of the Dominion settlement. And so we're going to start towing the line so we get less hate. Fox has the ratings it has because it has traditionally refused to do that. If they're going to reverse course on that, that's heartbreaking. And who else we got, right? I mean, Newsmax, right? I mean, we got some others out there. I just hope it's not an indication that Fox has made a fundamental change in its direction.
It's funny you say that, and then we can move on after this, but Glenn Greenwald, independent journalist, used to write for The Intercept, broke the Edward Snowden story. Went on Tucker a lot. He tweeted this out. Tucker was the cable host who most opposed the U.S. proxy war in Ukraine, denounced CIA, FBI, and DHS for its systemic lies and corruption, devoted himself to a pardon for Julian Assange, objected to a regime change in Cuba, criticized Trump administration's militarism. From 8 to 9 p.m. on Fox, there was extreme, even fundamental disagreements between Tucker and Hannity.
Yes.
On those key issues.
They would bump heads from time to time.
The kind of internal debate unthinkable on any other network. I'd wager the new 8 p.m. host will be far more aligned with Hannity standard GOP, just like what you said right there.
Yeah.
So I thought that was an interesting take.
Yeah, I agree. And for instance, I mean, you guys know, I mean, I enthusiastically voted for Trump in 2 elections. If he's the Republican nominee in 2024, I would vote for him again enthusiastically. But I'm not a complete Trump guy, right? I mean, I didn't vote for him in the primary in 2016 because I like Ted Cruz. He's a constitutional attorney. But anyway, and I think Fox and traditional Fox and Hannity just line up too much a little bit behind President Trump, and I don't care for that. So I just hope it's not a fundamental change in Fox's direction because that's not good for America, frankly. Because we don't have anybody else that has their viewership and their ratings that are willing to stand up to the horde right now.
And be fearless and go after some of your own, right? When was the last time Sean Hannity ripped on a Republican? When was the last time Laura Ingraham did that? Maybe they have, and I just can't think of it off the top of my head. But Tucker would, on the regular, go after members of the right.
He would skewer war hawks like Lindsey Graham. And then the next hour, he'd be on Lindsey Graham would be on Hannity talking about how they love the Ukraine. We got to give money to Ukraine.
Yeah. I mean, you in media, national media, in my mind, you only have credibility if when someone that you more or less align with politically, if you're willing to go, oh, come on. No, oh, come on. I mean, I support you generally, but that's not right. Whatever it is you're saying, whatever the discussion is, That's not okay. That's not right. I'm disagreeing with that. I used to do that with Trump all the time when Trump was president. I come on my show. Again, I just got a little Saturday show in Indianapolis. But just as an example, going, he was wrong on bump stocks. He was wrong, on red flag laws. And if we don't have somebody in the national media willing to stand up and break ranks, then I think we've lost all credibility. We're just lining up, one side versus the other, and that includes the media. I mean, my God, I keep coming back to the same thing. Where's Walter Cronkite, man? Where the hell is Walter Cronkite?
And it doesn't matter if you're on a national level or a local level.
Yeah.
Courage is courage, right?
Well,
because we get along with the Attorney General, Todd Rokita. But we've had him on the show before because we thought what he did with Abdul was Bush League.
Sure.
And we kind of got into it with him on the radio, but we've also liked some of the things he's done too. Like, that's the kind of stuff I think people respond to. And Tucker had the national platform to do those types of things.
That's right. People respond to credibility. And you only have credibility if you're willing to stand on truth and principle. If you're just willing to align on infrastructure, on general political platforms, then you lose credibility.
Monday Gun Day, Guy Relford joining us here on the Hammer and Nigel show. So you got a little bit of breaking news that you want to pass along to us.
Yeah. In fact, Richard Essex, who I just respect so much, we need the Richard Essex here locally.
Wish TV's investigative reporter.
Yes.
The best in the business.
He's
exactly
awesome.
Right. I think he's the best out there. I really do. And Richard did a great story a few months ago. We talked about it here. He interviewed me for his story, but he was talking about the IMPD property room. When IMPD takes guns into their property room, this could be because they're evidence in a crime. It could be because they recovered them. You could be the victim of a crime. Say your gun was stolen out of your car and they find the bad guy and they recover your firearm. It could be something so innocuous as your car's towed, but there's a gun in your car. And so when they impound your car, they search it, they find the gun, they send it to the property room. He did this great story about how there's a complete breakdown, and I think a bunch of illegal processes going on in IMPD, which is they're sending every gun they take in to have complete ballistic analysis done on it. You could be the victim of a crime. Your gun stolen, they recover your gun, they're sending that gun to have a complete ballistic analysis, meaning they fire it, they recover the projectile, they do microscopic analysis on that, they do a analysis of the shell casing and the extractor marks and the striker marks on it, and they're sending all that to a national database maintained by the ATF called the Crime Gun Database, we typically call it. And all of that information goes on your gun, even though you were the victim of a crime, goes into this database.
And it's a big hassle to try to get your weapon back, even though you didn't do anything wrong.
And because there's a big line, because they've got thousands and thousands of guns there, that you can't get your gun back for 2 years because they're doing all that. Then in the last year alone, they've started a new process where they say, oh, by the way, if your gun's taken in, it doesn't matter whether you were the innocent victim of a crime or your car was just towed, whatever, that you have to show us the original proof of ownership, like the receipt, in order for us to give you your gun back.
So if somebody's had a gun in their family for 10 years,
yes,
and a situation arises where
500 years,
you have to go back and find the receipt to get it back, even if you didn't do anything wrong. This was the report that Richard Essex did on Wish TV, highlighting what seemed to be an old, out-of-date policy from the IMPD.
Well, and this new policy, which is basically we're not going to give you your gun back unless you can show us at least a copy of the original receipt. And my mom has a gun in the IMPD property room, right? I'm a two-way lawyer, and I can't get the damn gun. And the reason only the gun's there is because an employee of hers stole it, and then he was pulled over and arrested, and the gun got impounded, and because she doesn't have the original receipt. So anyway, the change in policy, and we're at least making incremental movements here, because I'm preparing a class action lawsuit right now. I have the clients, I have the legal theories, it's on paper. We're refining it a little bit. We're ready to proceed with a class action lawsuit, but what
against IMPD?
Yes, against the city of Indianapolis,
city,
which is who you have to sue, and then IMPD as essentially a part of the city of Indianapolis. But they've corrected one thing, which is they've said we just got a statement from IMPD, just like in the last hour or two. And that says, if we just take a gun into the property room for safekeeping, meaning it's not evidence in a crime, and along those lines, then we're not going to run ballistics on it anymore.
So if I'm in my car and I'm driving and I've got my weapon in the glove box and I'm doing everything right and I get hit by a drunk driver and I have to go to the hospital and they have to tow my car, that means my weapon would go to the IMPD.
Yes.
And in the past, it'd be a big, colossal pain in my ass to try to get my legal weapon back.
And consider this. They're running with no Fourth Amendment warrant, right? No probable cause to believe your gun was ever used in a crime. What they're also doing is running ballistics on your gun, recording all of that and sending it to a database in Washington, D.C. on your gun that when they have not even any inkling that it was used in a crime. So that part, running ballistics on guns that they just take into the property room.
Still need a receipt, though?
Yes. There's no.
Okay.
So, and so again, my mom, who's a victim of a crime, can't get her gun out. And she's like, wait a minute.
So Richard is breaking this story then with the update?
Breaking it at 5 o'clock. Everybody needs to watch this. He interviewed me for that story as well. I hope my hair looks okay in that. but again, consider this. I literally think this is theft. If I tow your car, it's your car and your gun's in it, and I take it. I take your gun out of your car. And I come and then somebody comes to me and says, okay, I want my gun back. The gun you took out of my car with no indication it's stolen, doesn't show up in a stolen gun database or anything like that. I would like my gun back. And I say, no. Do you know what we call that legally? We call that criminal conversion.
I thought you were going to say taxation because it's the same argument.
Yeah, well,
right?
Right. That's a tax on towing your car, right? No.
That's my money that you're taking out and I can't do anything about it.
Well, that's a really good point. But if I take something into my possession that I have an obligation to you to return and I refuse to do that, that's called criminal conversion. That's a crime. It's right there with theft. And that's what IMPD is doing right now. They're taking guns and refusing to give them back to the people they took them from because they can't prove ownership. Oh, hell no.
So check out Richard Essex of Wish TV. That report's going to be on sometime around 5 o'clock, maybe a little after, also on wishtv.com. Guy, can you stick around for one more break?
You betcha.
Guy Relford is here. It's the Gun Guy. Monday Gun Day. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
For the first time ever since opening its doors, the Indianapolis Men's Clinic is now the only men's health organization offering an intimacy guarantee. That's right. If you don't perform, you don't pay. You heard that right. Restoring intimacy is important to everyone. Helping men with a proven solution is what drives success. That's why the Indianapolis Men's Clinic stands by their intimacy guarantee. Now you will have the assurance and confidence of proven outcomes without the fear of financial loss. By using the latest technology for the treatment of ED, acoustic wave therapy uses pressure waves to open existing blood vessels, which restores spontaneity and intimacy for you and your loved one. Stop trusting companies that feed you empty promises with no results. Trust an intimacy guarantee. Trust the Indianapolis Men's Clinic. Call the Indianapolis Men's Clinic today. 317-999-9000. That's 317-999-9000 or IndianapolisMen'sClinic.com.
You don't have to be officially engaged to start looking at engagement rings together. I'm a jewelry consultant here at Chain Company, and we have couples come in all the time to see our great selection. A lot of them like to pick out their top 3 rings. They make it a date, and it's fun. With so many options to create a one-of-a-kind ring, you may not know where to start, and that's where we come in. We're here to help. Chain Company has over 1,000 engagement rings in every price range, from sparkling pave styles to elaborate halo designs. High-quality rings in yellow gold, white gold, rose gold, and platinum. For your center stone, Chain Company offers all shapes and sizes of natural diamonds, lab-grown diamonds, and a broad spectrum of natural, colorful gemstones, from over a dozen colors of sapphires, to rubies, to peach morganite, and more. Come see us at Chain Company today, and have some fun picking out your engagement ring together.
Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and ShaneCo.com.
Hey, good morning. You're heading to the airport, right?
Yep, thanks for checking. I like the car.
How long have you been a rideshare driver?
About 3 years now, but I really enjoy it.
Isn't it hard to make money these days with the price of gas being so high?
Not for me. I use Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get real money back when you get gas with the Upside app?
Yep, I get real cash back every time I get gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code TIRE for an extra 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code TIRE for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code TIRE.
Winning games and championships is fun, but the true purpose of high school sports is for student athletes to grow as people, not just athletes. I'm Paul Knighty, Commissioner of the IHSAA.
And I'm Dr. Katie Jenner, Indiana's Secretary of Education. Hoosier teachers and coaches care just as much about how student athletes are performing in the classroom as they do about how they're performing on the playing field.
They understand high school sports are a tool to educate and shape the whole student athlete, helping teens become the best versions of themselves.
Our teachers and coaches don't just teach academic and athletic skills, they also encourage communication and collaboration, instill confidence, promote a strong work ethic, and so much more. To all our Hoosier educators and coaches, we are grateful for everything you do.
Fans, buy a ticket to your high school's athletic events and thank our educators for making education-based athletics possible.
This is gratitude. This is appreciation. This is your IHSAA.
This is Danny Reinhardt with Reinhardt Heating and Cooling. Give us a call for any of your heating and cooling needs. We're here to serve you. 317-745-4526.
Reinhardt is your trusted local independent American Standard Air dealer.
Matt Baer, what's going on?
Looking at the northeast side, eastbound 465, that is a vehicle fire between 82nd and 69. Right now, 2 right lanes are blocked. It is causing a slowdown. East side, northbound 465, stop and go from Penn Pike to 75th. Crash east side, 38th at Post Road. Also northbound 37, still dragging on the way up to 465 from Epler because of I-69 construction. Traffic sponsored by Indy Decorative Concrete. Imagine the possibilities of getting the backyard of your dreams. Expand your living space with an Indy Decorative Concrete patio. Indy Decorative Concrete, the patio experts. Big enough to service, small enough to care. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
51 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center here at 93 WIBC. Monday Gun Day. Guy Relford joining us in studio.
Hey, Guy.
So I was scrolling through social media the other day. I won't confirm nor deny that I was on the can, Guy. And I think I saw you and Russ McQuaid of Fox 59 having another little back and forth about the latest shooting. Did I see this correctly?
Yeah, I mean, and it wasn't really a back and forth because Russ never responds on social media. Yeah. I think he's just kind of declared himself above that, which I kind of respect in some ways, saying I won't come on there and debate things. But yeah, I mean, he was talking about a particular shooting where there were 3 armed Utes, right? Or youths in Indianapolis, and a couple of them approached another one, and they were arrested for robbery at the end of the day. But the victim drew his gun and shot and killed one of the guys trying to rob him, according to IMPD and the prosecutor's office anyway. And he was lamenting the fact that we have constitutional carry. And the way he did that is he said, well, I talked to the father of the deceased teen that died, and he couldn't understand. He didn't understand how it made any sense that the guy could buy a gun and carry a gun without a background check and with no training, and with that because he wasn't required to have a permit. And I read that, and I just kind of went, and then he said, and he asked me, how does that make any sense? And I said, I don't know how that makes any sense. So, of course, Russ is saying we have this broken system because. So wait a minute, he's saying the guy that stopped the robbery was in the wrong? Is that the implication? Yeah, well, I don't know if he's saying that he was in the wrong, but he's just lamenting the fact that a person died, and of course we should all feel bad about that. But these people were all carrying guns only, or they were carrying guns without training, and they were able to buy their guns without having a permit. And that's the part I latched onto and said, hold on, you never had to have any training in Indiana to get a licensed carry handgun. So if you're blaming, and I don't know how training factors into this. I mean, I've been doing firearms training for 30 years, and I've never had a slide in my presentation that says, don't attempt an armed robbery because the victim might shoot you dead.
Right. And if you're buying a gun legally, and we only got about a minute left here, Guy, you're buying a gun legally, you still have to pass a background check.
You have to pass a background check to buy the gun. You don't have to have a permit to buy the gun. That's why his comment made no sense about tying it to a permit.
People think this permit is so magical. It was a piece of paper that you got after you passed the background check.
That's right. And by the way, under constitutional carry, if you weren't eligible to get your handgun license, you're not eligible to carry under constitutional carry.
And another thing is, why do I know or care about Fox 59's Russ McQuaid's thoughts on guns? Like, why do I as an objective reporter, wouldn't you think that you
I'm just
destroy
disappointed.
This credibility?
I'm disappointed we don't have the old Russ. Russ used to be just an absolute encyclopedia.
We've had him in studio before talking about Richmond Hill, and it was amazing. A great conversation.
I love the guy. For dozens of years, decades, I loved the guy and did long interviews and conversations with him. And suddenly he's this anti-2A dude who came, and there were multiple posts in addition to one you're talking about here just recently. And I'm disappointed because he was really, really good. And now he just seems to be on this anti-2A campaign, which I just don't understand.
We call that pulling a Keith Olbermann in the business.
Well, right.
If somebody wants to continue the conversation, Mr. Relford, how can they find you?
On Twitter, @GuyRelford. Give me a follow while you're on there, @GuyRelford.
Guy Relford, thank you.
Hey,
thanks, guys.
The Hammer and Nigel Show.
90% of all anxiety drugs in the world are consumed by Americans. While prescription drugs have their place, there are drug-free alternatives. Learn more about holistic care for anxiety at Holistic Integration's free open house event, Saturday, April 29th at 10 a.m. At this Holistic Integration open house event, you'll hear from Dr. Robert Prather, host of the Voice of Health Radio. You'll learn how natural products can be used to rebuild the nervous and endocrine systems and boost the body's own immune system to battle anxiety. And you'll discover the difference chiropractic, acupuncture, and auricular therapy can make to help relieve anxiety. Healthy refreshments will be provided, and those who attend will be scheduled for a free acupuncture session. The Holistic Integration Open House event featuring Dr. Robert Prather, Saturday, April 29th at 10 a.m. RSVP for this free event by calling us at 317-848-8048 or register online at thevoiceofhealthradio.com.
Indianapolis is the crossroads of America, the crown jewel of the Midwest.
I'm Jefferson Shreve. I grew up in Perry Township on the south side. I've stayed pretty close to home. Indianapolis, Indiana is my home. The first part of my life was focused on growing a business. And in doing that, I've done some good. Employed quite a few people.
But with a crumbling infrastructure and record-breaking crime, can we still say Indy is a jewel of a city?
I think sadly, we've had better, shinier, happier days in our past than we are at today.
Jefferson Shreve has a plan. Hire more police, give them the support they need, and let them do their job. Because we don't have to live like this.
Strong leaders can pull people into a cause and motivate them.
What Indy needs now is a leader with a plan.
I'm Jefferson Shreve, and I need your vote for Mayor of Indianapolis.
Paid for by Shreve for Mayor.
Experience the future of connectivity with Spectrum One. You get Spectrum Internet delivering the fastest speeds in the nation for $49.99 a month. Advanced Wi-Fi for enhanced privacy and security, free for 12 months. And a Spectrum mobile line with unlimited talk, text, and data, plus nationwide 5G, free for 12 months. That's Spectrum One. Visit Spectrum.com or your local Spectrum store today. Offer subject to change. Valid for qualified residential customers only. Service not available in all areas. Restrictions apply.
Do you have a wet basement problem? Hi, I'm Mike Smith with Swingco Crawl Space and Basement Repair, Indy's most trusted basement waterproofer. Your basement is a very important part of your home. Whether it's finished or unfinished, there's nothing worse than a wet, unusable basement. Swanco's Basement Waterproofing will fix your wet, unusable basement permanently and forever. Protect your greatest asset, your home, by waterproofing your basement today. Call the real, local, family-owned waterproofing experts at Swanco Crawl Space and Basement Repair, 317-407-1868 or SwancoLLC.com.
What you've heard about probiotics is probably wrong.
I eat yogurt, so I don't need to take a probiotic.
Probiotics? They don't really work. It's time to learn the truth about probiotics from Align, the probiotic brand recommended by gastroenterologists 2 times more than any other probiotic brand. Align has probiotics to naturally help relieve occasional bloating, gas, and abdominal discomfort. Try Align for a month and see how great a healthy gut can feel at AlignProbiotics.com.
Imagine the possibilities of getting the backyard of your dreams. Expand your living space with an Indie Decorative Concrete patio. Indie Decorative Concrete, the patio experts. Big enough to service, small enough to care.
Coming up in 2 minutes, it's been a chilly few days in Indiana. It's probably going to stay that way. What your former governor was up to in Iowa last weekend and why firefighters from around the world are downtown. It's coming up after Fox News Radio from the Peterman Brothers Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 4 o'clock.
The president's timing still not clear. Lisa Brady, Fox News. But he tells reporters he has said he's planning on running again and that more will be known soon. The White House not confirming reports that a re-election announcement could come tomorrow, the anniversary of his campaign launch for the 2020 race.
We had Biden in the basement who didn't talk to the American people as he was running for president. But now we have his record. And though he hides from the press, the results speak for themselves.
Republican National Committee Chair Ronna McDaniel also tells Fox News she's more worried about the president's policies than his age. A recent AP North Center poll finding an uptick in support for a re-election bid, though even among Democrats, it's still less than half at 47%. The White House dismissing suggestions that the president is politicizing the issue of gun violence.
What the president is doing is trying to protect families and communities across the country.
Spokeswoman Karine Jean-Pierre after the president spoke recently with a black teenager who survived a shooting in Missouri after going to the wrong address. Today, he's meeting with 3 Tennessee state lawmakers who led a protest on their House floor after a mass shooting at a Christian school. The president facing some criticism for not meeting with victims' families. An incident earlier this month in Florida where a homeowner fired at a car is getting a second look, this time from a prosecutor.
The state prosecutor in Broward County, Florida, is looking into how police handled a shooting by a homeowner in the town of Southwest Ranches of a car being driven onto his property late at night. Police never reported it to the prosecutor since they charged no one with a crime. The homeowner claims to have felt endangered. The car was driven by an Instacart delivery worker with his girlfriend. Nobody was hurt.
Fox's Evan Brown, the driver, said he had gone to the wrong address. A mixed finish on Wall Street. The Dow turning higher for the close, up about 67 points at the bell. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
It's not going to warm up much. 50 degrees and cloudy in downtown Indianapolis. Radar is clear. You've got a low of 36 later. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:02. It's been a chilly few days in Indiana, and it may be a while before it warms up again.
We're not going to be doing much better than 60 or 65 here through this week, and maybe even coming up in the weekend, maybe highs back into the 50s.
Alex McGinnis with the National Weather Service says you may also see some light rain at times this week. Former Vice President and Indiana Governor Mike Pence was in Iowa this weekend. John Herrick reports.
Pence has not committed to a presidential run in 2024, but he appears to be leaning that way. You be the judge.
The challenges that we're facing in this economy with inflation at a 40-year high are going to require someone who has the ability to step in on day one.
He spoke at the Iowa Faith and Free Coalition's annual spring kickoff. Former President Trump spoke remotely, and other Republican candidates spoke at that spring kickoff in person. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Eli Lilly broke ground on a multi-billion-dollar investment into a new manufacturing park in Lebanon last week. Gary Dick with Inside Indiana Indiana Business explains why.
Demand for products and demand for drugs in the Lilly's pipeline, and anticipating more demand going forward.
Talking to WIBC's Tony Katz, Dick says the nearly $4 billion investment is the largest in Eli Lilly's history. Firefighters from all over the world are downtown this week for the Fire Department's International Convention. Donnie Burgess reports.
The FDIC convention is all about bonding between brothers and sisters, education, and a shared life experience between firefighters. It's also about having a little fun for people who are used to breaking a little sweat.
We have the 5-alarm 5K walk run, which is a fundraiser to help for cancer research. That's Thursday at 6 p.m. at White River State Park.
FDIC Education Director Chief David Rhodes on WIBC's first day. Lucas Oil Stadium's field has also been turned into a model-scale city for firefighters to practice in. Donnie Burgess, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Tomorrow, you'll hear how the FDIC is working to combat toxic chemical contamination and how they're working to help 3 Ukrainian firefighters. Traffic and weather's next. Your time is 4:04.
Michaelis presents Password. The word is basement.
Musty.
Shoes.
No. Damp.
Your hair.
Try, subterranean.
Ooh, tunnel.
Smelly.
Burps.
Sheesh. Try basement.
Oh, well, burps are smelly too.
Ugh.
Basement waterproofing and French drains. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it.
Make it Michaelis.
Come on, take your basement back. 844-FIX-INDY.
With traffic on the 5s at 4:05, here's Matt Bear.
All right, vehicle fire cleared on the northeast side, eastbound 465 and I-69. It's out of the interstate. We are still stop and go back to Keystone Avenue. Front of the line starting to move nicely again. Northbound 465, Lawrence, stop and go before Penn Pike up to 75th. And northbound 37 jams at Epler up to 465. That is a construction zone. And a crash reported South Meridian and Pleasant Run. Traffic sponsored by Isaacs and Isaacs. Dog bite injury. Call Isaacs and Isaacs, the law firm Indiana has trusted for over 20 years. They'll fight to get you every dollar you deserve. Click and get help quick at WeWin.com. That's WeWin.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
For tonight, clouds increase. Scattered showers look to move into central Indiana close to pre-dawn. Low temperature 37 degrees. Tuesday, scattered showers are expected through much of the day. High of 59. I'm Wish TV's Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos? So let's...
Hello. My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there. I love how our listeners are very worried about my condition right now. Knowing what I know, finding out the news that Tucker Carlson is no longer with Fox.
People are concerned for your well-being. Not Tucker Carlson's, yours.
Constantly talk about I love the show, and it's part of my nightly routine for the past 5 years. Kids to bed, wife's watching bad reality shows upstairs. I'm down with a cocktail watching Tucker. That has been disrupted, and I will not stand for it.
You're going to have to, because Tucker Carlson and Fox have parted ways. Now, I'm going to read you this statement. Nige, you and I have each been hired and fired by some of the best in the business. Tell me if this sounds like this was a mutual decision or Tucker was forced out. Quote, Fox News Media and Tucker Carlson have agreed to part ways. We thank him for his service to the network as a host and prior as a contributor.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like... I mean, you watched Tucker's last episode Friday. I watched it Friday night, and he was like, all right, we'll see you Monday. Didn't seem to have any indication that this was happening. I don't know. Maybe who knows what happened behind the scenes? Maybe it is the Dominion voting thing, and there, a similar lawsuit with another voting technology company is in the works. Maybe maybe Elon Musk called him over the weekend and said, "Hey, I'm starting my own platform, and I'll give you $1 billion if you come with me." Who knows? I mean, I bet whatever happens, though, whatever his plan is, I mean, back up the Brinks truck for that guy, because he was the franchise.
Yes.
Fox News. He was the face of the franchise.
The number one franchise, too. Fox News wins every single ratings main key demo in cable news. So Tucker was the face of it. Nobody had better numbers, bigger advertising dollars than Tucker Carlson did. And that's with a lot of people trying to protest and picket and call for boycotts of Tucker sponsors. Tucker was above that. His audience was so loyal, they appreciated the fact that he would call it as he sees it on both sides of the aisle. He would rip Republicans like Graham Nasty. Yeah. And of course, he had the testicular fortitude to stand up and say, I don't think we need to be involved in this Ukraine situation. And now he's out the door. This is what it sounded like earlier today on Fox News. Harris Faulkner broke the news, and she basically just read from the statement that Fox put out.
We have some news from within our Fox family. Fox News Media and Tucker Carlson have mutually agreed to part ways. Tucker's last show was this past Friday. And starting tonight, Fox News Tonight will air live at 8 p.m. Eastern. It will be an interim show with rotating Fox News personalities until a new host is named. We want to thank Tucker Carlson for his service to the network as a host, and prior to that, as a long-term contributor.
This is more of a hostage video than it was a statement about what happened.
Very somber.
Awkward.
Harris Faulkner right there. So it was Dan Bongino last week. He was one of their weekend hosts. He was a contributor. They'd always bring Bongino on to fire up Geraldo and fight with various people. He came out in his podcast and said, I just found out that last week was my last show at Fox News. And now the big fish, the whale, Tucker Carlson, out at Fox.
I wonder if Don Lemon is in any way, shape, or form sort of resenting the fact that he got let go on the same day as Tucker Carlson, and nobody cares.
He can't even get a trend, right? He can't even dominate the social media sphere.
Nobody's talking about the fact that Don Lemon got fired from CNN this morning as well.
Can I read you Don Lemon's tweet? We didn't get a chance to do this earlier.
Oh, yeah.
So CNN's CEO, Chris Light, puts out the statement basically wishing Don Lemon well. Don Lemon on Twitter, quote, I was informed this morning by my agent that I've been terminated by CNN. I'm stunned. After 17 years at CNN, I would have thought that someone at management would have had the decency to tell me directly. At no time was I ever given any indication that I would not be able to continue to do the work I have loved at the network. It's clear that there are some larger issues at play.
Dun, dun, dun. Well, CNN responded to that and said, no, that's BS. We gave you opportunities to speak with management.
Which they didn't even have to say that.
Right.
They could have just pointed to a ratings book. It could have been a finger, a picture of a finger pointing at a ratings book.
That should have been the tweet.
This is the tweet.
Oh, God. I got another. I got a good conspiracy theory. Not a theory, but maybe a possibility of what could happen. I'm reading the Substack by Alex Berenson, who's been on the Tucker Show 40 or 50 times, fighting that COVID narrative for a long time.
People called him a conspiracy theorist, and he was absolutely right about COVID.
Everything. Listen to this. He wrote a Substack about this whole thing. Quote, in fact, if Tucker really wanted to cause trouble, he'd make Chris Light, CNN's chief executive, an offer he couldn't refuse. I'll reboot CNN for you, Chris, and you won't have to pay me market price.
Whoa. Could you imagine?
Could you imagine if Tucker went to work for CNN?
That's better than Trump Tucker 24. That right there. Of all the conspiracies that we've seen, Tucker rebuilding CNN, like almost doing like The Decision, like LeBron did. Yeah. He's sitting at his Montana ranch. I've decided to take my talents to the cable news network.
Boy, the liberal tears and the head spinning. Could you imagine? That never happened, of course.
No.
But it's just fun to talk about.
On the other side of the aisle, let's check in with wheelin', dealin', hair sniffing, kiss stealing Joe Biden.
I got hairy legs.
Happy birthday, dear Valerie. Katanji drowned Jackson.
So we're hearing some rumor, some scuttlebutt, if you will, that tomorrow could be the day that old man Biden announces his re-election campaign.
Yeah, it'll be the anniversary when he announced in 2019, I think. I think he announced on the same day.
Now, the timing of this is interesting because an NBC poll came out this weekend. Now, the key words there are NBC poll, not Fox News, not, Breitbart. NBC poll, 70% think Joe Biden should not run again. And when you look at the poll...
It's a big number.
...that are, for sure, registered Democrats, here's Chuck Todd to break it down.
53% of 2020 Biden voters say he shouldn't run. 64% of Democrats who voted for Sanders or Warren in the 2020 primaries think he shouldn't run. And 76% of voters under 35 think he shouldn't run. And what's the top concern for that? We asked voters. We didn't prompt them. We said, why don't you think he should run? Well, these were the responses. It almost is all about his age and his ability to do the job. Again, these are among Democratic primary voters.
76% under the age of 35 say you're too old.
And really the reason he shouldn't run is because of his atrocious policies that have affected this country in such a negative way. Age, I understand it, part of the reason, but when I hear him say that age is the only reason why he shouldn't run, what about the disaster that has been this administration for the past couple of years?
Well, thank God Amy Klobuchar was there to give such an enthusiastic, ringing endorsement of Joe Biden. She sat down with CNN's Dana Bash and listened as Amy Klobuchar. She decides to stand up, look everybody straight in the face, and very passionately and very enthusiastically support Joe Biden.
Many Democrats worry about his age. Even the New York Times editorial board, which is not exactly a bastion of conservatism, this weekend wrote that candidates shouldn't pretend, as Mr. Biden often does, that advanced age isn't an issue. These are concerns that are not going away, and you know that. So how do you think President Biden could overcome that?
President Biden has such a strong record to run on. He has gotten this country through the pandemic. He has the backs of the American people.
Try not to run through a wall there, Nigel. I think I heard the Notre Dame fight song kick on in the background somewhere.
And by the way, just I know what you're talking about. Well, what record? What you talking about? His record is atrocious. Look at the economy, inflation, gas prices, crime.
My favorite was like the 5-second pause while she had to come up with some bullcrap answer to tell Dana Bash. Can I get that awkward pause again, Allison? Dana Bash of CNN asking a question to Amy Klobuchar. This is her chance to fire up the base, circle the wagons, and this is what we got.
Could overcome that.
President Biden.
So good. All right, Matt Baer, what's the latest?
Looking at northbound 465 in Lawrence, it is a crash at Penn Pike, a nasty looking one right now. The left lane is going to be blocked. Traffic stop back to I-70. And looking at eastbound 465, that's still jammed from Westfield Boulevard past Keystone because of an earlier vehicle fire that has cleared. Traffic sponsored by Lowe's. Shop Springfest at Lowe's and get the best values of the season before they're gone. Save on select major kitchen appliances, outdoor power equipment, and more. Shop Lowe's today. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
We got some tickets to give away. How about a couple tickets to the IndyCar Grand Prix?
Cool.
Indianapolis Motor Speedway, Saturday, May 14th. We've got 2 tickets for you. All you got to do is be caller number 9. It's a busy news day today. We don't have time to do something wacky. We're going to make it easy. Caller number 9, 239-9393. That's 239-9393. A couple tickets to go see the Grand Prix at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Tickets are on sale now. IMS.com. 51 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. Is This Anything? Next.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your foundation and damaging your home. Cracks in walls and uneven floors are just a few signs your foundation is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns. A free home inspection from Indiana Foundation Service. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at indianafoundation.com.
Diamonds Direct's biggest sale all year is going on now with an extra 20% savings, an expanded selection, in-store designer appearances, and special financing. Imagine 20% off Diamonds Direct's already value prices on rings, earrings, bracelets, bands, colored gemstone jewelry, and thousands of engagement ring mountings. Meet the designers who've flown in with all new collections for spring. It's the most exciting event all year with extreme savings and exceptional value. Don't miss this once-a-year jewelry extravaganza. Details, showroom hours, directions, and more at diamondsdirect.com.
Chapters of this story take a whole month to tell. This is May. It starts with twists and turns on the IMS road course for the GMR Grand Prix. Then PPG presents Armed Forces Indy 500 qualifying and the Firestone Fast 6 shootout. May continues with Indy's biggest party, Miller Lite Card Day. And all roads lead to the 107th running of the Indianapolis 500 presented by Gainbridge. This is where heroes become legends and legends become legendary. This is May. Buy now and save. Get tickets at IMS.com.
Imagine if you could get a 35% bonus when you invest your money. If you invest $100,000, you get a $35,000 bonus. If you invest $200,000, you get a $70,000 bonus.
Hey, it's Kendall and Casey. Learn how you could get a 35% bonus from Bill Demery, your retirement guy. We're believers in Bill, and now we're clients too. Not only will you get a 35% bonus, you'll sleep well at night knowing your money is backed by an A-plus insurance company that's been in business for 140 years and has $2.5 trillion in assets.
To learn how you could get your 35% bonus, call 317-932-9912. Reach out to Bill Demery, your retirement guy, at 317-932-9912. 317-932-9912.
It's time to vote, Indy. Make a plan and get it done. Vote early, easily, and in person through May 1st or on primary election day, Tuesday, May 2nd. Find out where at vote.indy.gov. Message paid for by the Marion County Election Board.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Reinhardt Heating and Cooling, your American Standard air dealer in Danville.
Hammer and Nigel presents
It depends upon what the meaning of the word is.
Is this anything?
All right, let's rock and roll.
Hammer, how do we play Is This Anything?
I will run some stories by you. You're going to break down all the information that I've given you. You'll weigh out the pros and the cons, and we'll need a final verdict on the story. Is it anything or not?
Ready?
Dateline, Indiana.
Oh.
A small Indiana town is so upset that their pharmacy is closing after 71 years in business.
Man.
The name of the pharmacy? Butt Drugs.
I'm sorry?
Butt, B-U-T-T, drugs. Butt Drugs, closing after 71 years.
Is this real?
The owner says it's tough for small businesses to stay afloat in this kind of economy. Here are some loyal customers and the owner of Butt Drugs talking about the closing.
What more fun can you get than having a butt shake on a Saturday afternoon?
Butt was the given name, so you make it what it is. Have fun with it. The small independents we can't sustain when we're at their mercy. Even though this kind of feels like a premeditated funeral, we want to look at it as a celebration of life because there's not too many businesses that have actually been here for 3 generations.
I'm sorry, play that first part again. What did she say, butt shake?
What more fun can you get than having a butt shake on a Saturday afternoon?
I prefer butt Slurpees myself.
Oh,
but
good
that's just
Lord.
me.
Jeez.
The owner,
Wow.
the owner's name that you heard in that clip was Katie Butt Beckford. So Butt is the last name of somebody.
And it's a family business,
Family
thus
name.
Butt Drugs.
That's in Cordon, about a couple of hours south here. Actually, we have exclusive coverage right now with a Hammer and Nigel reporter on the scene.
Butt Drugs is closing after 71 years. People in the town are bummed. We heard the owners were behind and must have really been feeling the pinch. Having a bad location also wrecked them.
Okay.
One thing for sure about Butt Drugs, they always had your back. They no longer had a booty, and it hurt their bottom line. The remaining employees got canned and were forced to go out the back door.
Oh, come on!
They'll probably knock down the building, and the only thing left will be asphalt. And as the old saying goes, when one butt closes, another one opens. Reporting from the rear entrance of Butt Drugs, I'm Ben Dover.
Exclusive coverage of the closing of Butt Drugs here on the Hammer and Nigel show.
Now, this is a big deal. This is an actual, I've also got a clip here. They had their own commercial jingle at one point.
They got butt drugs. They love butt drugs. Butt drugs. Butt drugs.
Butt drugs.
Sounds like the Oak Ridge Boys right there.
That's tremendous. Play the end of that jingle. Listen for the old man. You got to really listen for the old man going, "This is butt drugs." Listen.
I love butt drugs.
Sound like Biden.
Listen, Jack, is butt drugs. You know the thing. Is this anything? This happened at a pep rally last month at Desert Hills Middle School in the state of Washington. Students and teachers competed against each other in a contest where they licked marshmallow cream off of a plexiglass window. The strips of cream were placed at the exact same location on either side of the window, so it looked like the teachers and students were licking each other. Here are some students who filmed it reacting in disgust.
That's disgusting. That's actually so gross. I think it's a good idea. It looks so wrong.
It's a misunderstanding. They weren't licking each other. Mr. Furley, settle down.
Yeah, I just retweeted the footage of it was like this contest, and it's really bizarre. It does kind of look weird. And following the inevitable public outcry, Desert Hills school superintendent sent letters to parents where she stated, quote, "The content of the video being shared on social media is highly concerning, and the situation is currently being investigated." She added that the activity was innocent and not ill-intended. That left parents fuming. I'm looking at this right now. It does. First of all, it's just gross, and it does look like the teachers are licking and making out with the students.
That's a Three's Company episode, isn't it?
It really is.
Like every Three's Company episode.
I'm watching it.
Had something like that.
Yeah, exactly. So the school apologized, but I don't think any action is going to be taken. Probably. I'd say this is a nothing burger, even though it's kind of funny, and you can judge for yourself. I just hit the retweet button there on our Twitter account, @HammerandNigel. Our new account that has no blue check mark, by the way.
Going back to the butt liquors story, I'm sorry, the butt drugs story, Daniel tweets at us,
yes.
They also sell liquor, and Daniel on the YouTube chat claims to have a shirt that says butt liquors on it. If anybody still has a butt liquors t-shirt,
I love it.
By all means, post a picture of it. If you have extra, send us one. We'd love to have a copy of it here. Last one, is this anything? A fire broke out at Disneyland over the weekend when a massive prop dragon lit up during Fantasmic, which is kind of like this big grand finale kind of thing. There's audio and video going all over social media.
I've seen it, yeah.
Take a listen to this. This is some of the coverage captured by somebody watching the show. There's this big dragon.
It's the Maleficent dragon, I think.
And then it really catches on fire.
And then the head caught fire, and then the entire body went up. Poor dragon. Didn't make it.
Yeah. You watch the footage. It's actually pretty cool. If I would have been there or my kids would have been there, they would have been like, this is awesome.
You think it's part of the show?
Yeah, exactly. And you had some good some takes on this.
Man, it feels like that situation's like when somebody really gets hurt during professional wrestling. You don't know if it's part of the show, part of the storyline, what's going on. So when a dragon catches on real fire at Disney, I'd probably stick around going, oh, wow, look at that. This is well worth the $150 we paid to get into this joint per person.
There's probably some other dork, though, that looks at it and goes, that ain't real.
That fire doesn't even look real. What a ripoff. It's the Hammer and Nigel show.
The more people I have working behind the scenes on my retirement, the better. There's a massive team working for clients at Howard Bailey Financial. They are helping people navigate their retirement goals, people that want to retire with purpose, people that want to have time to enjoy life with Howard Bailey Financial at the helm.
What does your vision of retirement look like? Is that full-on retirement? Is it a work optional lifestyle, living in Indy, moving to Florida, whatever your vision is? Let the team from Howard Bailey customize a plan specifically for you. Everybody is different. Everyone's visions of retirement is different. That's why they customize a plan specifically for your needs. If you're ready to live your best life in retirement, go see the Howard Bailey difference. Investment advisory services may be offered through Howard Bailey Securities, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Working with Howard Bailey Securities, LLC cannot guarantee investment success or that specific financial goals will be achieved.
Helzberg Diamonds presents The Guy Who Did His Homework. When it came to Jill's engagement ring, Brady knew exactly what to get.
Okay, so I came up with a design and showed it to all of our friends.
She'll love it.
Then he went to Helzberg. Their incredible selection of high-quality, lab-grown, and natural diamonds made creating that special ring easy. Her reaction?
I love it. Can't wait to tell everybody.
Everybody might know about it.
Be like Brady. Create the ring of your dreams at a Helzberg near you or at Helzberg.com. Ask now about special financing offers.
What you've heard about probiotics is probably wrong.
I eat yogurt, so I don't need to take a probiotic.
Probiotics? They don't really work.
It's time to learn the truth about probiotics from Align, the probiotic brand recommended by gastroenterologists 2 times more than any other probiotic brand. Align has probiotics to naturally help relieve occasional bloating, gas, and abdominal discomfort. Try Align for a month and see how great a healthy gut can feel at AlignProbiotics.com.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
It won't warm up too much. 51 degrees, cloudy on the circle. All clear on the radar. We've got low temps dropping to about 37 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:30. It's been a cold start to the week. It'll get slightly warmer later on.
We're expecting for today, highs in the mid-50s. Tomorrow and into Wednesday, highs closer to 60.
Alex McGinnis with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis. He says there are some small chances for rain later this week. No severe weather expected. A woman from Brownsburg is in serious condition after she was stabbed in the head by her son, say Brownsburg police. Officers got the call around 12:30 this afternoon. They found the woman outside a home on Midnight Pass. Her son was found near the neighborhood pool house. He was brought into custody. One person is dead, another in custody after a shooting at a college in central Oklahoma. Fox's Jeff Manasseh reports.
Police in Midwest City, Oklahoma say what began as a domestic situation between 2 males escalated into a shooting near Rose State College's administrative building. The student says she sheltered in place with a witness.
He just took off running to where we were and told us, hey, we saw it happen, and told us that there was only one guy, that he had a pistol.
We're being told that 1 male was killed, the other taken into custody. The school still swarming with police. Jeff Manasseh, Fox News.
President Biden still pushing Congress to pass gun safety laws.
I continue to call on Congress for common sense gun safety laws to protect kids and our teachers. Teaching should not be a life-threatening profession. And educators should not need to be armed to feel safe in the classroom.
Biden while speaking to teachers at the White House today ahead of handing out the National Teacher of the Year award. The average price for gas in Indiana, $3.61 a gallon, says Gas Buddy, down 10 cents from a week ago. Your stock report, the Dow finishing up by 66 to 33,875. The NASDAQ down 35 to 12,037. The S&P 500 up by 3 to 4,137. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:32.
Indiana has a long history of pioneering education freedom and empowering families who know what's best for their children. But as universal education freedom sweeps the nation in states like Iowa, Arizona, Arkansas, West Virginia, Utah, and Florida, Hoosiers are at risk of being left behind unless we act now. Indiana lawmakers have an opportunity to ensure all Hoosiers can exercise their right to decide what education is best for their child, where they learn, how they learn. The time is now for Indiana to regain its status as a leader by delivering universal access to education freedom for every Hoosier. The time is now for Indiana to ensure our children get the education they deserve, so they can compete with every state in America and every country around the globe. Contact your state senator today and tell them now is the time to put our kids first and pass universal school choice. Paid for by Yes Every Kid.
The traffic at 433. What's going on, Matt Bear?
Harrison, I'm looking at Lawrence right now. It is a crash on northbound 465 at Penn Pike. The left lane is blocked. Traffic's a mess past 70, almost to Washington Street, and then a little rubbernecking in those southbound lanes around Penn Pike. Eastbound 465, stop and go Keystone Avenue, almost to Allisonville Road, and then we have a crash south Meridian, a pleasant run. Traffic sponsored by Indy Decorative Concrete. Imagine the possibilities of getting the backyard of your dreams. Expand your living space with an Indy Decorative Concrete patio. Indy Decorative Concrete, the patio experts. Big enough to service, small enough to care. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
For tonight, clouds increase. Scattered showers look to move into central Indiana close to pre-dawn. Low temperature 37 degrees. Tuesday, scattered showers are expected through much of the day. High of 59. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
I feel like Don Lemon is Farrah Fawcett and Tucker Carlson is Michael Jackson. You know, I bet
it's a pretty dark comparison, but I see what you're doing there. I see where you're working.
So Farrah Fawcett died in 2009 of cancer, and the news of her death was quickly eclipsed by the shocking news that Michael Jackson had died in 2009. So nobody cared about Farrah Fawcett anymore. It was all about Michael Jackson. I feel like Don Lemon is the same way. Like nobody's really caring about or talking about Don Lemon being fired from CNN on the same day that Tucker Carlson, one of the most powerful and recognized conservative media personalities, was let go from Fox or parted ways from Fox. Mutual decision. We don't really know, but much more on that coming up, including some Sarah McLachlan tributes.
Yes, we have not one but two Sarah McLachlan-style farewell tributes coming up a little bit after 5 o'clock. Switching gears a little bit here, I saw this, and again, every once in a while, you'll see something on social media. You'll watch a video, you'll read a story that will make the eyes roll back in your head so much, people will confuse you for The Undertaker. And that's what this story did here. So a Black Lives Matter activist in Chicago, now keep in mind, Chicago, I believe it was last weekend, had a situation where it was just out of control violence in the streets, looting, assaults. There were a couple shootings, just tons of young people ransacking the streets. A BLM activist in Chicago says the looting and theft of businesses is okay because if it's black people doing it, they can count that as reparations.
Somebody decides to loot a Gucci or a Macy's or a Nike because that makes sure that that person eats. That makes sure that that person has clothes. That's reparations. That is reparations. Anything they want to take it because these businesses have insurance. They're going to get their money back. My people aren't getting anything.
Get a job. What are you talking about? You want to eat and put food on the table, do it like a normal person does in this country. We are well fed in this country.
And you're allowed to get a job.
There is no shortage of food in this country. Give me a break. I think most reasonable people, black or white or whatever nationality or race you are, looked at that and said, give me effing break.
Except for the new mayor-elect of Chicago, who's probably all in. I didn't think it was possible for somebody to be worse than Beetlejuice, to be worse than Lori Lightfoot. But this guy, man, Mayor-elect Brandon, he very well could be a bigger disaster. He was already justifying the looting, making excuses for the looters like this activist did.
That was in Chicago,
yes.
Right? You know, one of the things Bill Maher talked about on his show this weekend was, why aren't major black celebrities asking why black people are killing each other in cities like Chicago? Reverend Charles Harrison of the 10-Point Coalition retweeted that and said, it's because black-on-black violence does not fit the political narrative as white police officers killing blacks does. Black-on-black violence forces the black community to take a look at ourselves and what's driving this self-hate. Couldn't have put it more perfect.
There's a lot of people
Reverend
that don't
Charles.
want to look at themselves. They want to blame everybody else and make themselves the victim because of something that's happened in their life.
Just like that person, that clip we just played. By the way, she was wearing a mask. Why are they always wearing masks? I mean, forget about the fact that they're looting and maybe don't want to be seen on camera. They're always wearing masks, like the cheap little ones from China.
Right. The ones that do not stop the spread of COVID and do absolutely nothing for you. It's just purely cosmetic. I think, honestly, if you want my opinion, it's easier to loot and rob when you've got your face covered up. We saw a big uptick in robberies during the COVID lockdowns. That happened all over the country, not just Chicago. Now, I will say this for Chicago. I saw a group of black males, predominantly black males, doing a march through the streets.
I saw that, yeah. Over the weekend, yeah.
Yes.
Peaceful protest on the violence.
Right.
Yeah.
Saying enough is enough.
Like adult fathers and
Right.
stuff like that.
So, good. That's the kind of stuff that we need. We don't need people
that was cool.
justifying why looting is okay. Last time I checked, there are no stores that have signs that say, if you're black, you can't work here. Go get a job, get a paycheck like everybody else. And the same goes with if you're white, too. Don't loot and then say, well, I'm owed this. No, you're owed absolutely nothing. It doesn't work that way. Speaking of masks, got to thinking about this last weekend. Weird things that happened during the pandemic. I was kind of going down a rabbit hole on Reddit. May or may not have been sitting on the can again.
Of course.
And weird things that happened at the start of the pandemic.
Where do we start?
We had this conversation with Bobby Burak of Outkick, I think a couple weeks ago. But here's a couple more. Tell me if you did these things or at least remember these things. The hoarding of toilet paper. The great toilet paper shortage of the lockdowns.
Yeah, I don't think so. No, I never. I mean, we're always in usually good supply in my household.
Big poopers.
But when I did big poopers in that household. But when I did need it, I was able to walk into Kroger, and yeah, the shelves were mostly empty, but I was still able to get some.
Allison, you a toilet paper hoarder? I could see you being the type that walks into Kroger and comes out with like 8 different types of TP.
No, I am so against hoarding, and I do remember going to the store and there being no toilet paper, but that's also Morgan County, and we freak out about it.
Yeah.
We like to be prepared.
Did anybody bake bread? Like everybody was making sourdough.
Yeah.
You were a bread baker?
No, I remember all the Instagram posts from fellow millennials.
I don't remember that.
A lot of sourdough bread trends.
People were bored. They were just locked in their houses, so they made bread.
Oh, yeah.
Sourdough was the popular choice. Everybody was into Tiger King.
You.
I'd like to think that I was into Tiger King before the lockdown. Like when that thing came out, I watched it and I was hooked because it was the white trash World Series. The limb to tooth ratio in that show.
Limb to tooth ratio.
Right. Some people didn't have all their limbs. A lot of people didn't have a lot of their teeth. But the limb to tooth ratio alone was appointment television. And I can honestly say, I've once received a voicemail from Joe Exotic, the guy that is the Tiger King. When I was working at the casino in Shelbyville, myself, my friend CJ, and a gentleman we called Drunk Matt, we were in charge of booking a lot of the entertainment for the casino. at the time, he was trying to do like this traveling circus thing around the nation. So he wanted to bring like a live freaking tiger into the Shelbyville casino. And he left me these voicemails. Jason, it's Joe Exotic. I can't do a very good impression.
That's pretty good.
I'd love to come to your casino. We got big cats, tigers. Yeah, couldn't get that cleared from the Indiana Gaming Commission.
Did you ever call him back?
No.
Oh, man, you should have called him back.
What could have been?
Again, these are things that we remember from the start of the pandemic. When Gal Gadot got all of those celebrities to sing Imagine, and it totally backfired.
So dumb and awful.
I remember we got all the WIBC personalities together to do Baby Got Back.
That's right.
We did a parody of that. Some other things on this list. Everybody was afraid of somebody sneezing. Like if somebody sneezed or cleared their throat in public, you gave them the side eye and stared daggers into them.
I mean, I never did that to anybody, but I would, like, when I would be in a public place and I'd cough or clear my throat, sure, people would look at me like I had the Black Plague.
Grandma killer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Zoom parties for birthdays and graduations.
Never did that. Never, ever, ever.
Casey's daughter had to have a Zoom graduation.
Yeah, the graduation, yeah.
That stinks. That's such
I never had, like,
crap.
Zoom parties.
No.
I just, even my grandpa died in May of 2020, and we had a big gathering for him. So, yeah, that didn't stop us at all from paying tribute.
There were some states you couldn't go to a funeral. If your mother or grandmother died, sorry, you weren't allowed to go to the funeral.
Yeah, trust me. My family said, screw that. We are paying tribute to this man.
We are going to do something next that I think we need after a crazy day.
Can I just do one more? Just one more. The weirdest thing that you remember from the start of the pandemic. Do you remember the priest baptizing a kid from 6 feet away with a water gun?
No, I don't remember that one.
I do.
I'm looking at it right now. I will post it. It's the creepiest, weirdest, dumbest thing I've ever seen. It is the single dumbest moment from the pandemic. I'll tweet that out here.
Is it worse than the plexiglass divider at the grocery store?
Yes, and that's saying a lot because those were so dumb too.
What do we got next?
Moonshine Monday.
Thank you.
Okay.
I've been trying to get into Moonshine Monday.
Let's do it.
We need drinks today. Moonshine Monday is next.
Your neighbor Mark loves spring in Indy, but he hates to paint. So he called Rhino Shield.
It's a two-story home built in 1992. Around 2001, looking at needing to paint, I heard a radio ad, with Rhino Shield, you won't have to paint again for another 25 years.
That's because Rhino Shield's not paint, it's better.
They're very professional. We had everything done. Everything that would typically be painted on a house was done, and it was very fast.
All right, Indy, get the 25-year guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield right now for 15% off the regular price.
It was done in 2001 and still going strong. From what I've seen on our home, they can easily offer a 25-year guarantee and not worry about it.
Here's owner Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino.
No paint. Don't vinyl. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Hey, as much as I'd love being a homeowner, I'm lucky enough to be a homeowner. There's certain problems that come along with being a homeowner. Right now, we're going through this thing with my driveway where, it's falling to pieces, and we're going to have to get it replaced. So that's what I'm focused on right now. What I'm not worried about is my American Standard air conditioner. And if you need American Standard service, make sure and see
Family Heating and Air Conditioning, the Morris family and staff, ready to help you out this spring and summer. You could call Rachel, you could call Marcus, or you could call Malia today to make sure that AC is ready for the hot summer, hopefully hot summer that lies ahead. Family Heating and Air always encourages you to call them for a free second opinion, even if you've already got a quote from somebody else. If something doesn't look right, you could call Family. Nobody cares for you like Family. 317-577-8077. Family Heating and Air. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you. American Standard Heating and Air, built to a higher standard.
Hey guys, it's Abdul, and I'm running for mayor of Indianapolis. You see, all my adult life, I believed in leaving things better than when I found them. As an attorney, I worked to leave my clients in a better position. As a teacher, I worked to leave my students better educated. And as a political commentator, I worked to leave my audience more informed. Now I'm running for mayor because I want the city to be in better shape. So go to AbdulForIndy.com and read about our plans to take a tough but smart approach to dealing with crime, our creative approach to road funding, and restoring public trust in government. You know, we all deserve a great city to live in, and together we can make that happen. It's not just talk, it's a plan. Paid for by Abdul for Indy.
There's nothing more important than time. Time for you and time for family. If issues like high blood pressure or high cholesterol run in your family, make time for highly skilled heart care too. At Indiana University Health, you can book a same-day appointment with the state's most preferred provider of cardiovascular care. See a top cardiologist today, then get back to what's most important without skipping a beat. Visit iuhealth.org/heart to book your appointment today.
Absolutely loving my new Galaxy Concrete garage floor. Literally out of this world. The staff was awesome. They were in and out within a day. I love how they don't use epoxy because that's the old stuff. That's the old standard the other guys use. What Galaxy uses is better. It's polyurea. That's the new premium standard for coatings, and it looks great on my garage floor. And it's not just for garage floors either. Basements, pool decks, or any indoor or outdoor area concrete. Check out the pictures. Get a quote, galaxyconcretecoatings.com, or call their office, 751-9070.
This is Scott Willis running for mayor of Westfield. As a colonel in the United States Marines, I stood up for our country, our families, and our values. As mayor, I have the leadership and vision to make Westfield a world-class city. How do we build a world-class city without losing the qualities we love? We do it with transparency, integrity, and smart leadership. I am a lifelong Republican. I'll work to diversify our tax base and to lower residential taxes. On Election Day, experience matters. I'm Scott Willis, and I'd be honored to have your vote.
Paid for by Willis for Westfield.
World-changing question. Are you keeping as much of your investment gains as possible? High taxes can erode returns quickly, so you need a tax-optimized portfolio. At Creative Planning, our money managers and specialists work together to make sure your portfolio and wealth are managed in a tax-efficient manner. It's what you keep that really matters. Why not give your wealth a second look? Book your free meeting today at creativeplanning.com. Creative Planning, a richer way to wealth.
High school sports teach so much more than just the fundamentals of the game. They also teach the fundamentals of life, like the power of belief. I'm Robert Falkins.
And I'm Carrie Rosati. We're both assistant commissioners of the IHSAA. In the second classroom of high school sports, student athletes understand hard work pays off, and they learn to be proud of their effort, no matter the outcome.
Successful student athletes support their teammates and learn to always do the right thing.
And most importantly, they learn to always believe in themselves.
When high school sports keep education in front of athletics, these fundamental beliefs outweigh the idea of winning at all costs.
That's why high school sports are a transformative and invaluable part of every student athlete's education.
Buy a ticket to your high school's athletic events and show student athletes that you'll always believe in them too.
This is the power of belief. This is the power of high school sports. This is your IHSAA.
This is Danny Reinhardt with Reinhardt Heating and Cooling. Give us a call for any of your heating and cooling needs. We're here to serve you. 317-745-4526.
Reinhardt is your trusted local independent American Standard Air dealer.
Imagine the possibilities of getting the backyard of your dreams. Expand your living space with an Indie Decorative Concrete patio. Indie Decorative Concrete, the patio experts. Big enough to service, small enough to care.
The Home and Garden Show hits the road again this week, and we're headed to the Decorator's Show House and Gardens. Join us live with Pat and Denny this Saturday at 9 a.m. at the Decorator's Show House and Gardens.
I'm looking at the picture of this priest baptizing this baby, and it looks like a scene out of Pulp Fiction. So bizarre.
That's the strangest thing I saw during the pandemic. A priest with a mask on, standing 6 feet away, baptizing a baby with a squirt gun.
And he's holding the squirt gun like a gangster, too. It's weird.
He's got his wrist twisted a little bit. Yeah.
Staring down the baby. Power stance. All right, Matt Baer, what's up?
Looking at Lawrence right now, crash northbound 465 at Penn Pike. That's the left lane. That's block stop and go traffic back to I-70. Northbound 465, northwest side stop and go traffic from 86th Street up to 865, turning slow to ditch. And then on the south side, northbound 37 stopped at Epler to 465 because of road work. Traffic sponsored by Indy Decorative Concrete. Imagine the possibilities of getting the backyard of your dreams. Expand your living space with an Indy Decorative Concrete patio. Indy Decorative Concrete, the patio experts. Big enough to service, small enough to care. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
52 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center, and it is Moonshine Monday.
And it takes me back to a simpler place in time when we used to kick back and let the moon shine.
Come on now.
Let the
So, got a couple flavors left. We only got a couple weeks left of Moonshine Mondays. My wife's Aunt Jen down in Decatur County has got somebody. I got a connection down there in the backwoods of Decatur County. And she shipped me up a whole bunch of these clear mason jars. You know,
Each one different flavor in it, too.
We've tried out several different flavors. There's been peppermint. There's been fire, cinnamon. There's been apple.
White lightning.
I'm not sure if that was
hair on my chest.
Now, I have some. If you're watching in the YouTube chat, I'm holding up the little mason jar full of the samples here. I've poured them out for each of you. I won't tell you what flavor we're tasting. I'll make you guess. So, Allison, go ahead. Hammer, go ahead. Cheers, Moonshine Monday.
Moonshine Monday.
It is what? Can you put your finger on it? Now, I like, because this isn't like there's no artificial flavors or anything like this.
Right.
It's
a small little taste. It's not like something you'd buy off a shelf.
Yes.
I was going to guess bubble gum. Like it's got a bubble gum kind of smell and flavor to it.
I'll give you a hint, Allison. It's fruit.
I would say cherry.
Strawberry,
yes.
That was my number two. That was my number two.
It's very subtle, though. Very subtle.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And I don't know if that's the intention of when you actually distill and make your own moonshine in a shed out in the woods, if that happens. Like if you did it at a liquor store, if you bought one of these at a liquor store, on the up and up, there would probably be more of a strawberry flavor. Oh, yeah,
right.
It's strawberry. But
now, some places in the store are better than others. Like we sampled a store-bought moonshine this past weekend, and I think here in the next couple of weeks, I might bring one of those in.
Ooh, okay. Oh, so we got more flavors then?
Yes.
Because I'm running out of flavors. I got 2 more flavors from the distillery down in Decatur County.
Off the shelf, I think I've got 3 bottles in my fridge. Now,
nice.
It's a couple flavors we've already tried, but it's moonshine, and we're going to keep this thing rolling.
For as long as we can.
Absolutely.
My lips burn.
You have to finish all that.
We got the top stories of the day. Tucker Carlson out at Fox News, which means we've got a Sarah McLachlan tribute. Don Lemon out at CNN, which means we've got a Sarah McLachlan tribute. It's all coming up next on the Hammer and Nigel Show.
For the first time ever since opening its doors, the Indianapolis Men's Clinic is now the only men's health organization offering an intimacy guarantee. That's right. If you don't perform, you don't pay. You heard that right. Restoring intimacy is important to everyone. Helping men with a proven solution is what drives success. That's why the Indianapolis Men's Clinic stands by their intimacy guarantee. Now you will have the assurance and confidence of proven outcomes without the fear of financial loss. By using the latest technology for the treatment of ED, acoustic wave therapy uses pressure waves to open existing blood vessels, which restores spontaneity and intimacy for you and your loved one. Stop trusting companies that feed you empty promises with no results. Trust an intimacy guarantee. Trust the Indianapolis Men's Clinic. Call the Indianapolis Men's Clinic today. 317-999-9000. That's 317-999-9000 or IndianapolisMen'sClinic.com.
Hey, good morning. You're heading to the airport, right?
Yep, thanks for checking. I like the car.
How long have you been a rideshare driver?
About 3 years now, but I really enjoy it.
Isn't it hard to make money these days with the price of gas being so high?
Not for me. I use Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get real money back when you get gas with the Upside app?
Yep, I get real cash back every time I get gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code TIRE for an extra 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code TIRE for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code TIRE.
Diamonds Direct's biggest sale all year is going on now with an extra 20% savings, an expanded selection, in-store designer appearances, and special financing. Imagine 20% off Diamonds Direct's already value prices on rings, earrings, bracelets, bands, colored gemstone jewelry, and thousands of engagement ring mountings. Meet the designers who've flown in with all new collections for spring. It's the most exciting event all year with extreme savings and exceptional value. Don't miss this once-a-year jewelry extravaganza. Details, showroom hours, directions, and more at diamondsdirect.com.
Indy's biggest party is back. Miller Lite Carb Day, Friday, May 26th, with Brian Adams. With special guest Soul Asylum. Miller Lite Carb Day, May 26th at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Concert pit and VIP tickets on sale now at ims.com.
Finding great people to hire can be like trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Their powerful matching technology delivers so many qualified candidates, it's like finding a needle in a needle stack. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. For less hay and more needles, head to ZipRecruiter.
And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Make your money work for you. At Busey Bank, we understand the importance of saving for the future. Our CD specials offer a competitive, secure, short-term option to help give your savings a boost. Visit Busey.com/CD rates or call 1-800-67-BUSEY today. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868.
Coming up in 2 minutes, it's April, but it may not feel like it. And Tony Burgess reports on why so many firefighters are in downtown Indianapolis. That's coming up after Fox News Radio from the Peterman Brothers Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 5 o'clock.
A new ceasefire in Sudan. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. Secretary of State Antony Blinken just announcing both sides agree to extend a ceasefire for 3 days, though other recent attempts have failed. Fighting between the Sudanese armed forces and a paramilitary wing, prompting evacuation of U.S. Embassy personnel over the weekend.
We're told that U.S. Embassy officials and the U.S. ambassador want to return as soon as possible. At a briefing here at the Pentagon, Brigadier General Pat Ryder told reporters the U.S. military is still assisting the State Department in its efforts to help those Americans who are still in Sudan. The USS Truxtun, a U.S. Navy destroyer, was moved off the port of Sudan a day after U.S. Navy SEALs and 100 Special Operations Forces arranged a risky nighttime helicopter evacuation of nearly 90 American embassy personnel.
Fox's Jennifer Griffin. The State Department says most Americans still in Sudan are dual national residents who have told the department they don't want to leave. President Biden holding an Oval Office meeting with 3 Tennessee lawmakers who recently faced an expulsion vote for leading a gun violence protest on the State House floor after the shooting at a Christian school in Nashville.
The White House defended Biden when asked about allegations that he's snubbing the Tennessee victims' families, compared with the White House invitation that he extended to Ralph Yarl, the black teenager who was shot in Missouri after he knocked on the wrong door. The state's Republican governor accused President Biden of politicizing that situation situation. Karine Jean-Pierre said in the briefing today that what the president's doing is trying to take steps to protect families, and she also took a swipe at House Republicans, saying that they should do the same.
Fox's Jackie Heinrich at the White House. Just getting reports of a strong earthquake west of Indonesia's Sumatra Island, magnitude 7.3, and it has triggered a tsunami warning. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Colder than normal, 52 degrees, cloudy in downtown Indianapolis. A clear radar, though, with the low dropping to 37 later. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:02. The city of Indianapolis tied a record for low temperature this morning at 28 degrees.
The last time it was this cold in Indianapolis on April 24th was 1910. I'm John Herrick. Similar low temperatures were reported across the rest of Indiana. The cool pattern continues this week, but it warms up.
Sort of a weak cold front that's going to pass across the area here tomorrow, just to kind of keep us in this cooler pattern, and associated with that frontal passage, there could be some isolated to maybe scattered rain showers.
Alex McGinnis with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis says you probably won't see temperatures near 80 degrees again until May. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
A woman from Brownsburg is in serious condition after she was stabbed in the head by her son, say Brownsburg police. Officers got the call around 12:30 in the afternoon. They found the woman outside of a home on Midnight Pass. Her son was found near the neighborhood pool house and brought into custody. When it comes to former Vice President and Indiana Governor Mike Pence possibly running for president in 2024,
I would tell you that I'm very humbled by the encouragement that we're receiving, and I promise when we have something to announce, you'll be among the first to know.
He tells CBS's Face the Nation he'll make an announcement in June. The Fire Department's International Conference is back for a week-long takeover of downtown Indianapolis. Donnie Burgess reports.
Classes, workshops, a 5K run, and a time for some quality bonding. If you or someone you know is a firefighter, that's what you have to look forward to this week. FDIC Education Director Chief David Rhodes says the convention also went all out this year by turning Lucas Oil Stadium into a replica city.
We have a full-scale model fire station that is in the end zone. And then we have a city park in the center with trees, benches, and then the exhibits are around. There's restaurants.
He tells WIBC's First Day this week is a special time for firefighters all over the world to learn from one another. Donnie Burgess, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Tomorrow, you'll hear how FDIC is helping Ukrainian firefighters and fighting back against toxic chemical contamination. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 5:04.
Premier Deck Coating, the ultimate deck protection. Who are they? Well, they're a sister company of Rhino Shield, and Premier Deck Coating is the product you need if you're tired of applying the same old stain and paint every couple of years to your deck. It's Terry, Stacy, and David and I have a deck that's probably 25 years old. The countless hours and the money that we spend on maintaining that deck never ends. And then we heard about Premier Deck Coating, family-owned, based right here in Indy, and they are going to completely transform our deck with their special formulated product, which repels moisture, scratch-resistant in virtually any color that we want, and backed by a 10-year guarantee. No more spending time staining or painting every year. Premier Deck Coating will keep our deck looking great for years to come. Premier Deck Coating can also do fences and pergolas, too. For a free quote, call 317-696-4071 or visit premierdeckcoating.com.
With traffic on the 5s at 5:05, here's Matt Bear.
Westbound 74 making an appearance in the stop-and-go realms here. It is stop-and-go 465 to Dandy Trail, heading to Brownsburg. East side, northbound 465 at Penn Pine. Crash on the left side, left shoulder with stop-and-go traffic past 70. South side, northbound Harding Street, jammed Epler to 465 because of construction. Eastbound 70, stop-and-go at West Street to Meridian, Illinois. Traffic sponsored by Isaacs & Isaacs. Dog bite injury, call Isaacs & Isaacs. The law firm Indiana has trusted for over 20 years. They'll fight to get you every dollar you deserve. Click and get help quick at WeWin.com. That's WeWin.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
For tonight, clouds increase. Scattered showers look to move into central Indiana close to pre-dawn. Low temperature 37 degrees. Tuesday, scattered showers are expected through much of the day. High of 59. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock it!
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer is here. Donald Trump has yet to comment on the departure of Tucker Carlson from Fox News. But he has commented on the departure of Don Lemon from CNN. Will you indulge me real quick?
Please.
Good news! The dumbest man on television, Don Lemon, has finally been fired. He's fired from fake news CNN. The only question is, what took them so long? So that is
That's Truth Social from Donald Trump.
No, nothing about Tucker yet, but I saw something where Trump is gonna be on Newsmax tonight with whoever their primetime guy is. I'm not very familiar with that outlet, but they'll be talking about his departure. Man, this sucks. I'm bummed.
Now again, for somebody that's been working all day and they just now got in their car, Tucker Carlson out at Fox News.
It's crazy.
Don Lemon out at CNN.
News not as big.
One is the highest rated cable news host, and it's not even close. The other has been demoted multiple times and suspended multiple times. So it's kind of a crazy news day today.
It is.
In the world of media.
I mean, in the world of news media, there hasn't been a bigger story since Bill O'Reilly was forced out at Fox News. Now, I'm not sure what came after that. Did Matt Lauer being forced out at the Today Show, was that before or after Bill O'Reilly? I can't remember, but like this has to top them all right here.
And there's so much confusion going around. Like with Lauer and O'Reilly, you knew what it was about. With Tucker, like everybody is saying the right thing right now, but is this about the Dominion lawsuit? Is this the executives at Fox News just wanting to go in a new direction, which would be a tremendously bad business decision, considering this is the face of your franchise. You're number one in cable news in pretty much every major ratings breakdown segment, time slot, and this is your franchise. This is the face, and you're going to blow Tucker out. This is what it sounded like earlier. Listen to Harris Faulkner here. This sounds like she's announcing like a funeral or something, like she's delivering
It's
eulogy.
a hostage video.
Right. This is Harris Faulkner of Fox breaking the news earlier today.
We have some news from within our Fox family. Fox News Media and Tucker Carlson have mutually agreed to part ways. Tucker's last show was this past Friday. And starting tonight, Fox News Tonight will air live at 8 p.m. Eastern. It will be an interim show with rotating Fox News personalities until a new host is named. We want to thank Tucker Carlson for his service to the network as a host and prior to that as a long-term contributor.
So what if at 8 p.m. tonight, it's like dark and then a single spotlight is on a chair and the person turns around and Bill O'Reilly's back? Did you miss me? Guess who's back, baby? Get the falafel ready. We're going to have a good time.
Now you're joking, obviously, but I was thinking I could see a guy like Clay Travis getting in that seat.
Yes.
For sure, although he has a pretty stable, successful radio gig from noon to 3 with Buck Sexton taking over for Rush Limbaugh after he passed away.
But if you could take over for Rush, then I guess maybe you could take over for Tucker. If you're okay with being the guy that replaces a legend, then by all means, knock yourself out. So the final moment of the Tucker Carlson show, we're going to play that here in just a moment. Hold on. This is Megyn Kelly. I wanted to play this. Megyn Kelly, who used to work at Fox, used to have a primetime show at Fox. She does a very successful podcast now. Megyn Kelly's fired up.
This is a terrible move by Fox, and it's a great thing for Tucker Carlson. I don't know what drove Fox News to make this decision, and it was clearly Fox News' decision because they're not letting him say goodbye. That's my supposition. That's not inside knowledge. Then they got sued, and last week they settled that case for about $800 million. Tucker Carlson had very little to do with that case. Tucker Carlson was one of the few who went on the air and said, Sidney Powell is a liar.
Yeah.
She's a liar, and I've seen the proof, and don't believe her. He was not the reason for that $800 million settlement. So what do they do now in the wake of that settlement? They get rid of Tucker? Talk about misjudging your audience yet again. Because trust me, I hear from the Fox News audience all the time, with whom I still have great relationships. Many, many, many viewers are now my fans on this show. And he's the only reason they watch, a lot of them. Tucker's the only reason a lot of people still watch Fox News.
And I hear that a lot. Tucker is the only reason that I tune in on the regular. Now, let's go back to Friday. This is the final segment of Tucker Carlson's show on Friday.
I was watching it.
He had a pizza delivery guy on who basically beat up a carjacker, stopped the carjacking. And they're having pizza, they're talking, but listen to the way he signs off. This doesn't sound like a guy who knows he's doing his last show.
Tonight, we interviewed a heroic pizza delivery man called Tyler Morrell, and ever conscious of the opportunity to use our job to get free food, we thought we'd like to taste your pizza. Tyler Morrell joins us in studio. He will deliver literally anywhere. Tyler, it is so great to meet you in person.
A couple Coco's pies.
So these are from Coco's, established 1978. Everybody loves Coco's Pizza.
That's right.
Where's Coco's based?
Aston, Pennsylvania, and Delaware County.
Delaware County, best part of the state.
I think we have a special
cheese pies.
We have a special pie for you here. Here's Tucker's pie.
That's it for us for the week. We'll be back. By the way, the entire episode of Let Them Eat Bugs, not quite as good as pizza, streaming now on Fox Nation. Use the promo code ORIGINALS for 30 days free. And we'll be back on Monday. In the meantime, have the best weekend with the ones that you love, and we'll see you then.
Did that sound like a guy who's just acting and he knows he's done, or did he legitimately think he's going to be back on Monday? It's tough.
Maybe Elon called him and said, hey, I'll give you $1 billion. I'm starting my own platform and streaming service.
Trump Tucker 24. Print the bumper stickers. Make the T-shirts.
Trump Tucker 24.
So the policy on this show is whenever somebody goes away for whatever reason, we have a very emotional, very over-the-top Sarah McLachlan-style tribute. This one's going to hurt, but here's Tucker Carlson.
Tucker, we're going to go. We're not. This is exactly the type of arguments that don't get us where we need to be. We need new leaders in Congress.
It's not
That's
like
F
the NRA. That's the kind of argument we need. Oh, I thought politeness didn't work, tough guy. F the NRA, Pat. Brian Stelter, amazing that he has a job, much less one in television. Hard to find someone duller or more talentless.
Mr. Don Lemon of CNN. How can a man so obviously limited have such boundless self-esteem? Doesn't he know he's an idiot?
Oh, barf.
Barf. It's not going to work.
Stop calling us a porn star and a creepy porn lawyer. If you've got that big a problem with porn, do you have that big a problem
I'm
with porn?
not making fun of.
When's the last time?
Slow
When's the last time you saw porn?
Oh, you busted me. Actually, I made humiliation porn. That's why I watch you on CNN.
Tucker Carlson's farewell.
He'll be back, man. And this is probably going to be the best thing that ever happened to him.
Not to be outdone.
Okay.
And I know we're up against a break.
That's right.
But Don Lemon got fired today by CNN. So without further delay, Sarah McLachlan.
It's all behind us. Slavery was a long time ago. That's all really bullshit.
Nikki Haley isn't in her prime. Sorry. When a woman is considered to be in her prime in her 20s and 30s.
The President of the United States is racist.
You're a vegan. I am. What's that like?
This is the man who today complained about immigrants who, quote, are from whole countries. Jesus.
President Trump tweeted this late on Friday night. He said, LeBron James was just interviewed by the dumbest man on television, Don Lemon.
Farewell, Tucker and Don Lemon. Matt Bear.
East Side. North Northbound 465, stop and go before 70 up to I-69. There is a crash in those northbound lanes of Penn Pike over on the left shoulder. South side, eastbound 465, stop and go before Kentucky over to the White River. Northbound 37 jams at Epler 465. That is a work zone. And then northbound 465, northwest side, stop and go before 86th Street up to 865. Traffic sponsored by GetRefunds.com. Ready to get your business the help it deserves? Find out if it qualifies for ERC assistance in less than 8 minutes. Up to $26,000 per employee could be waiting. Go to GetRefunds.com to get started. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
52 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
Spring is a key time for selling homes in Indianapolis. Now is the time to hire the agent that has the proven marketing plan to maximize the price of your home fast. Now is the time to hire the agent I recommend, Mark Dietl. Maybe you're worried because your home needs costly repairs or upgrades. Mark Dietl guarantees your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. Listen to what Brandy in Indianapolis had to say about working with Mark Dietl. I had an investment property I needed to sell, but I was certain I had missed the boat on top dollar. I hired Mark Dietl, and he assured me his team would get it done. He was right. My home sold in 2 days for top dollar, super easy, and I am very happy. Call the agent I trust and recommend for the details. Mark Dietl guarantees your home sold or he'll buy it. Call Mark Dietl at 317-755-4232 or go online to markdietl.com. That's Mark, DIETL.com.
Nobody cares for you like family. Family Heating and Air.
Hi, this is Malia with Family Heating and Air, and as a mom myself, I know it's really important to keep the kiddos healthy. Air quality, humidity, those are super big issues on my concern list. If you share any of these concerns, give Family a call, 317-577-8077.
Family Heating and Air is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
If today were the last day of your life, would you want to do what you're about to do today? As time marches on, the inescapable movement of the clock can change our perspective on life and our daily purpose. We all get there someday. In recent years, families I work with often ask, "What happens to me, Brian, if something happens to you or you decide to retire?" Every day I ask myself, does this still feel like a purpose that I look forward to, or is this starting to feel like a job? This is Brian Singer with Singer Financial. I feel blessed to still love what I do, but someday my purpose might shift to playing pickleball 24/7. CNBC reports that 73% of financial advisors lack a formal succession plan. That means that nearly 3 out of 4 advisors may be contemplating their own retirement with no transitional support for the clients who may have trusted them for years or decades. Fiduciary advisors put clients' best interests first. At Singer Financial, that means knowing how the individuals, couples, and families we work with will be taken care of for many more years beyond my retirement, unexpected disability, or death. Great things in business are never done by one person. They're done by a team of people. I'm excited to share that Singer Financial is now a part of Howard Bailey Financial, an Indiana-based retirement planning firm. We believe our integration with the Howard Bailey team is a giant step forward in our mission to be the last financial team you would ever need or want. Howard Bailey is a growing firm with a youthful, energetic founder and a cutting-edge planning process designed to help you transition into a work-optional lifestyle someday. Call us at 317-852-9153 to schedule a discovery visit and talk about your someday. If you're ready to plan for your best retirement, we should get together.
Investment advisory services offered through registered investment advisors Howard Bailey Securities, LLC, and AE Wealth Management, LLC. Working with Singer Financial cannot guarantee investment success or that specific financial goals will be achieved.
What you've heard about probiotics is probably wrong.
I eat yogurt, so I don't need to take a probiotic.
Probiotics? They don't really work.
It's time to learn the truth about probiotics from Align, the probiotic brand recommended by gastroenterologists 2 times more than any other probiotic brand. Align has probiotics to naturally help relieve occasional bloating, gas, and abdominal discomfort. Try Align for a month and see how great a healthy gut can feel at AlignProbiotics.com.
Everyone knows that soaking in Epsom salts can make you feel better. Now imagine soaking in Epsom salts in a Royal Spa hot tub.
Ah, Royal Spa.
What if the next time you painted your home was the last time you painted your home?
Our Rhino Shield has been on for 8 years.
Rhino Shield. Call 888-RHINO-41. Don't paint, don't vinyl. Go Rhino.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Reinhardt Heating and Cooling, your American Standard air dealer in Danville.
Are you really okay with this? Are you okay?
Everything's gonna be okay.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
I'm pretty far from okay.
Are you okay with this? On the Hammer and Nigel show.
Oh, yeah!
By the way, a little bit after 5:30, Daisy from the Chicks on the Right calling in. Very special guest that we like to have here on Mondays on the Hammer and Nigel show. Hammer, a man refused to help pay for his wife's $8,000 hospital bill after giving birth because she, quote, caved and got an expensive epidural. Are you okay with this?
No, not at all. First of all, do the husband and wife here have separate bank accounts? If you're husband and wife, how is it her bank account and his bank account? That seems a little weird to me.
Yeah, I got joint. Everything I have was joint with my wife.
And especially, I mean, I get each of you wanting to have some of your money, but if you're talking about the birth of your child, that kind of feels like that's all hands on deck, right? So the woman received an epidural along with support services to help her give birth, nursery time, lactation consultation.
Had one of those.
Postpartum supplies, even hospital food and blood test. Yeah. And the guy said, well, hell, I didn't sign up for all of that. Good luck paying for that on your own.
You thought that all that was too much? The hospital food and the blood test? I thought that was pretty much standard when you have a kid, by the way. I didn't want to leave the hospital when our firstborn. Connor, like they kind of shoved us out the door. I'm holding the kid in the baby basket, and I'm like, what am I supposed to do with this thing?
Can we just stay here?
Yeah.
You guys know what you're doing. You got all the stuff.
Because Lindsay, she had the lactation consultant. She did have the nursery time where she could just have time by herself to rest. And this guy's not paying for it. I mean, if you're gonna like spend money, I would say taking care of your wife who just had your firstborn child would probably be something you want to
take care of,
sure.
And again, this isn't a situation where it's a baby mama, maybe it's his kid, maybe it isn't his kid, but this is your wife. You guys are married. The only reason I would be okay with this is that this guy has officially taken all of us out of the running for worst husband of 2023. We don't have to worry about that title because this jagoff exists. So thank you to this guy for running with the title of worst husband of the year.
Are there different levels of epidural? Like she got the expensive epidural. That's pretty much required to have a baby, isn't it?
You could pull the trick that the coupon lady did. And this is a savvy veteran move. God bless her. So with our firstborn, and this was our first child, she had the epidural, and she said, you know what? I still feel a little bit. I'm going to tell him that it's not working. And she bitched and she complained, and all she did was run her mouth. And I think they gave her another one just to shut her up. But at that point, she was feeling no pain.
There you go.
She was watching soap operas, popping that kid out.
A boy was being bullied by a girl in high school. He was mild-mannered, kind of a nerdy kid, and this quote-unquote mean girl had been bullying him for 2 years. The boy's older sister snuck into the school and beat the hell out of the bully. She was charged with trespassing and assault. Are you okay with this?
Oh, I love this.
Yeah.
Yes. So the baby brother, this nerdy kid, and according to the story, was made fun of because he was good in school, he was a virgin, he was real skinny, and this, what's known as a mean girl, like a popular girl that's just a complete D-bag, had been bullying this kid for a couple of years, to the point to where his older sister thought that he was acting suicidal, was getting very depressed. So she decided, all right, this ends now. She went to the school, got into the school, now she's older, and found who was bullying her brother and beat the daylights out of her. Like, if I'm the family, I'll pay for your bail, I'll pay for your legal fees. Family sticks together, man. And honestly, I think this country needs more of that.
Absolutely. Phil Jackson, former coach of the Chicago Bulls.
Lakers, what a bunch of rings.
Yeah, he's got a bunch of rings. Phil Jackson says he has not tuned into much NBA since the 2020 social justice statements on the courts and uniforms, saying he couldn't watch that. Are you okay with this?
Yes, because he's not alone. Look at the ratings, right? This is one of those situations where, facts are racist. The numbers show that in 2020, the year they had the COVID bubble down in the NBA, down in Orlando, with all of the Black Lives Matter stuff on the uniforms, on the courts, the ratings were the worst they've been in years. So Phil Jackson wasn't alone. And here's the thing. There's a big difference between believing Black Lives Matter and the organization Black Lives Matter.
Sure.
And I don't think a lot of people can separate the two.
There's a distinction for
right.
Sure.
Because for a lot of people, they see the organization burning and looting their own city down that had nothing to do with what happened to George Floyd. Like here in Indianapolis, our mayor went missing for a couple days, and the, quote, peaceful, tolerant left, led by BLM, did looting, started fires, marched up and down very angrily trying to get to the governor's mansion.
There's a very high profile, like Breonna Taylor's family was like, where's BLM? They haven't given us a dime. Meanwhile, the leaders of the BLM organization are living in giant multi-million-dollar mansions.
Dude, Patrice Cullors got 2 new houses, the leader of BLM, and places like Indy, Philly, Chicago, Atlanta, they hardly saw anything. So, again, to believe Black Lives Matter, to me, that's way different than the Political Action Committee, BLM, because they were the ones that destroyed a lot of cities and in some places killed people.
I got time for one more here. Actor Hugh Grant says movie sets are, quote, so weird now, as actors are no longer allowed to get drunk and fall in love with each other. Because of the rules and the fact that everyone is on their mobile phones, quote, it's so sad. Are you okay with this?
Yes, I am okay with this.
It ain't the good old days on the movie sets anymore.
You know, Hugh Grant lives a lifestyle that I will never lead, nor will I really understand, but I get it. It reminds me of when Austin Powers was brought back, you know, and he was on the plane. Bring on the sexy stews. And they had to remind Austin Powers, we're called flight attendants now. And there was like a dude in there, and he didn't understand. That's where Hugh Grant's at right now.
I think Hugh Grant is in a place in his life where he's just said, F it. I don't care. I'm going to say what I want to say, do what I want to do. Remember the awkward red carpet interview for the Academy Awards? This is so funny.
What are you most excited to see tonight?
To see?
Yeah, well, I know that you probably watched a few of the movies. Are you excited to see anybody win? Do you have your hopes up for anyone?
No one in particular.
Okay, well, what are you wearing tonight then?
Just my suit.
Your suit? Who made your suit? You didn't make it.
I can't remember. My tailor.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Shout out to the tailor.
Yeah.
So tell me, what does it feel like to be in Glass Onion? It was such an amazing film. I really loved it. I love a thriller.
He was barely
How fun is it to shoot something like that?
Well, I'm barely in it. I'm in it for about 3 seconds.
Yeah, but still, you showed up and you had fun, right?
Almost.
Okay, all right. Okay. Well, thank you so much. It was nice to talk to you.
Yeah.
You're right. He's just got a case of the effets.
He's so annoyed that he even has to stand there and take these asinine questions.
All right, let's get Daisy on the phone from Chicks on the Right. We'll chat with her coming up right after a look at the news.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Keep that jacket handy. Cloudy, 52 degrees downtown. All clear on the radar. Those clouds expected to hang around to all night. Low to 37 later. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:30. It might be more than a week before we get temperatures in the 80s again.
We're not going to be doing much better than 60 or 65 here.
through this week, and maybe even coming up in the weekend, maybe highs back into the 50s.
Alex McGinnis with the National Weather Service says there may also be some rain this week. One person is dead, another taken into custody after a shooting at Rose State College in Oklahoma today. An active shooter alert was sent out to students at a nearby high school that was in lockdown. The shooting happened between two buildings. Those are now taped off for the investigation. The White House remains frustrated with Republicans claiming that they're refusing to raise the debt ceiling without preconditions.
We have been very, very clear. We are not going to negotiate when it comes to the full faith and credit of this nation.
White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre, the House will vote this week on Speaker McCarthy's plan to raise the debt ceiling, which includes cuts in government spending. Former Vice President and Indiana Governor Mike Pence was in Iowa this weekend. John Herrick reports.
Pence has not committed to a presidential run in 2024, but he appears to be leaning that way. You be the judge.
The challenges that we're facing in this economy with inflation at a 40-year high are going to require someone who has the ability to step in on day one.
He spoke at the Iowa Faith and Free Coalition's annual spring kickoff. Former President Trump spoke remotely, and other Republican candidates spoke at that spring kickoff in person. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
The average price for gas in Indiana today, $3.61 per gallon, says Gas Buddy. And Aaron Rodgers has been traded to the New York Jets. The former MVP of the NFL has been pushing for a move from Green Bay to New York. The deal finally went through this afternoon. Rodgers won a Super Bowl as a Green Bay Packer. With traffic at 5:32, here's Matt Baer.
Yeah, Harrison, stuffed up in Lawrence. Northbound lanes from 70 up to 69. Really bad from 70 past Penn Pike. Northwest side, northbound 465. Stop and go before 86th Street up to 865. South side, eastbound 465. Slows down from Kentucky over to Harding Street. And then northbound Harding, State Road 37. Stop and go from Epler to 465. It is construction. Traffic sponsored by Indy Decorative Concrete. Imagine the possibilities of getting the backyard of your dreams. Expand your living space with an Indy Decorative Concrete patio. Indy Decorative Concrete, the patio experts. Big enough to service, small enough to care. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
For tonight, clouds increase. Scattered showers look to move into central Indiana close to pre-dawn. Low temperature 37 degrees. Tuesday, scattered showers are expected through much of the day. High of 59. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the Level on the Go and on WIBC.com.
The Hammer and Nigel Show. My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there with a very special and lovely guest on the drivehubler.com hotline.
She is one half of the chicks on the right. The lovely, the talented Miss Daisy joins us.
Hey, Daisy.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys doing? Hello from Texas.
Well, I was doing better thinking, okay, I've got things going on. You know, I'm responsible. I've got decent credit scores. But then I find out that the Biden administration's making responsible folks like myself, like you, who have decent credit and higher mortgage rates, basically pay for the bottom feeders in this country. Walk me through what's going on here.
Oh my God. It's like, this is flat out freaking socialism, you guys.
Yeah.
Our older kids, okay, because one is 33 and one is 29. The middle one, our 29-year-old, he called over the weekend. He's like, "Is this real? Like, is this really happening?" Because it's kind of flying under the radar. I mean, of course, people like us and, you know, the Fox Newses of the world, people like that are reporting this. But it's kind of, you know, Democrats, the ones who voted for Biden, this is stuff that they don't want to talk about, right? These are the people who are like, "Oh God, does this stuff really happen?" Because it affects them too, right? So I mean, like, our kid is calling us going, is this really happening? And I'm like, yeah, this is really happening. This is flat out socialism.
So what they're doing, like Freddie Mae and Fannie Mac are having people with good credit scores pay higher mortgage rates to subsidize loans for people with low credit ratings who don't pay their bills on time.
Exactly. So essentially, you're being punished for following the rules. Once again, the people who follow the rules, who pay their bills, who do all the right things, who are, we dot our I's, we cross our T's, we do the right stuff, we're getting punished. Once again, we're getting punished. And eventually, people like us are going to be like, what's the point of following the rules? What is the point of doing all the right things when we're always the ones who get screwed,
Hey, that's what equity looks like, isn't it? That's the very definition right there.
Oh, God, it is just so frustrating, you guys. Yeah. And this is the kind of stuff that the RNC really needs to capitalize on. Like, this is the ad that they need to do. This is the ad that they need to come out with around the campaign cycle and be like, okay, this is what they're doing to normal people, to regular everyday people, the schmucks, I guess, who get out there and follow the rules and do all the right things. This is what they're doing to you.
And you know what, Daisy? You hit the nail on the head. This is what the RNC needs to be concentrating on. They just can't run on Biden's old, or did you see Biden falling down the stairs again? It's got to be specific policies that are bringing this country down, right?
Yeah, and that are affecting everyday people, like that are hitting us in our pocketbooks and that are hitting our everyday budgets. And this is the kind of stuff that everybody feels, that all of us feel.
Chatting with Daisy from the Chicks on the Right here on the Hammer and Nigel show. So tomorrow, it sounds like Joe Biden's going to make it official. He's going to announce he's running for re-election. Now, the timing of this is really interesting because there's a lot going on with the old man in terms of investigations, not just into him, but his crackhead son as well. What do you think?
His crackhead son, definitely. They're looking into him. And then also, you guys, I don't know if you've heard about his, they're now looking into Hunter Biden paying child support because remember the stripper? Everybody's forgotten about the stripper that he fathered a child with. There's that, of course, that child, the grandkid, was never invited to the inauguration when, Biden was inaugurated.
Yeah, Biden's a deadbeat grandpa, and Hunter is hiding in the White House, so it seems, to avoid getting served with papers.
Exactly. So that kid was never invited to the inauguration because they're all about empowering women, but that woman was completely tossed aside, and so was that grandkid, right? So now that woman's coming out and saying, okay, well, it's interesting that, Hunter wants to not pay his child support, but if you want to lessen your child support or make it less than what it is, you need to show proof that you're making less money. Well, he's not produced that documentation, and so now she's like, well, throw his butt in jail. And so there's that whole issue, too. I mean, he's just a deadbeat. He's a crack-smoking deadbeat all around. So there's that whole issue. Plus, if Biden decides he actually is running, which he's going to announce his, candidacy, what is he going to be, like 100-something years old by the time he gets into office? There's that. Right. And then if he's going to be debating Robert Kennedy and then woo-woo lady, which... You guys.
Well, they're not going to have debates, though, Daisy. They've came out and said, the DNC said they're not interested in having debates right now because I think the last thing they want is Joe Biden on the stage with a couple zeros, but he starts shaking hands with the air and talking about hairy legs. It's not a good look for anybody.
I mean, don't you think people are on to him at this point? I mean, the whole reason these people are not debating is because they're not qualified to do the job, right? I mean, don't you think even Democrats have to know that is the case? They have to know that.
RFK Jr. would destroy him in a Democratic primary debate, absolutely demolish him. It's not even a question. And then there's the big headline on Drudge right now. It's all in red. So it's serious. This new poll, 70% of Democrats do not want Joe Biden to run.
And what are they doing? Seriously, what are they doing? I can't believe they haven't put somebody up like a Gavin or even a Pete Buttigieg, who was a complete disaster. But to Democrats, at least it's their kind of disaster. You know what I mean? Like their wonderful kind of disaster because they've got RFK and then they've got woo-woo lady, astro projection lady. I'm just looking at this going, this is going to be so awesome to watch.
Well, let me run something by you, Daisy. And again, I think Nige thinks I'm crazy for this. I've got my tinfoil hat put on. I've got it strapped on tight. When they moved the DNC convention to Chicago, because it sounded like it was supposed to be in Atlanta, but they moved it to Chicago, I said right there, they're going to lay the groundwork for some last-minute deal where Michelle Obama will accept the nomination in Chicago. Tinfoil hat. Tell me if you think I'm crazy.
I don't think you're crazy. I don't think that's crazy at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't, Hammer. I think that is, I mean, she's a viable candidate. I mean, I don't know why she would want to do it, because she's spending all of her time just, writing books and being, kind of a kept woman on Martha's Vineyard and complaining about racism there. But I mean, I don't know why she would want to do it, other than the fact that power is a really wonderful aphrodisiac at this point with these people. But I don't see how that would be completely out of the question. I don't think you're crazy. No, I don't.
Yeah, the other Biden story that's kind of flew under the radar here, but I think it's gaining momentum, is the fact that during Biden's campaign, his main campaign advisor, Blinken, who is now the Secretary of State, pretty much went to 50 of his CIA buddies and had them sign a document saying that the Hunter Biden laptop was Russian disinformation or misinformation. And Biden actually used that fact during the debates.
Yeah,
it's crazy, and now the guy Blinken is being rewarded for that with the appointment of Secretary of State.
It's nuts. And then there's a State Department rep that we played a clip on our show this morning where he was asked about it, and he was just passing the buck. He was like, well, I mean, we don't really know much about that. It's not really our jurisdiction. It's like, are you kidding me? Like, that's the Secretary of State. It falls under the U.S. State Department. So what the hell? Like, this is what government does, right? Like, they'll pass the buck. No one's going to get any answers. And especially if you're a Democrat, there is no accountability. And that's another thing that we're seeing so much of nowadays. It's like there's a whole different set of rules for Democrats than there is for Republicans, right? And people are getting really fed up with that as well. It's like they can do whatever they want, and we can't. And that is so un-American, and it's just not okay. And I hope people will be so fed up with it that they'll just go in, droves to the polls and make their voices known about that, because it's starting to be terrifying at this point.
But it feels like in this specific situation with the Blinken and the whistleblower coming forward, if indeed that whistleblower comes forward, gets all the protections, this is kind of what the Republican House has been waiting for, right? All these other investigations, it's kind of been he said, she said, there's really no smoking gun. This really kind of puts a little pressure on McCarthy and Jordan and the other folks of the Republican House. All right, here you go. This is what you want. This is what you've been waiting for. Now, what are you going to do with this information?
Yeah, I guess what are you going to do with this information is right. Like, I mean, we've seen so much stuff come up in the past where it's like they've had gifts given to them, and they've had stuff where it's like, okay, now nail them, do something with this, But then it becomes this whole dog and pony show where they ask a lot of questions, but then nothing's done and no one's held accountable. I mean, we've seen this in the case of COVID. We've seen it in the case of other things too, where the American people, at least people on our side of the aisle, were waiting for some justice on so many different things, and nothing ever happens. And then all of us are we're very disappointed, So I don't want to be jaded, but I'm just like, okay, until I see it, I can't really believe it until I see it. I know that sounds terrible, but it's just, I want to see some accountability. I want to see some justice. I just need to see somebody do something other than just ask freaking questions,
Daisy, for the Chicks on the Right, can you stick around quick for a second segment? Because there's been some new developments in the whole Bud Light, Dylan Mulvaney saga, and I wanted to get your thoughts. We'll be right back, Daisy, from the Chicks on the Right. It's the Hammer and Nigel show.
Indiana has a long history of pioneering education freedom and empowering families who know what's best for their children. But as universal education freedom sweeps the nation in states like Iowa, Arizona, Arkansas, West Virginia, Utah, and Florida, Hoosiers are at risk of being left behind unless we act now. Indiana lawmakers have an opportunity to ensure all Hoosiers can exercise their right to decide what education is best for their child, where they learn, how they learn. The time is now for Indiana to regain its status as a leader by delivering universal access to education freedom for every Hoosier. The time is now for Indiana to ensure our children get the education they deserve so they can compete with every state in America and every country around the globe. Contact your state senator today and tell them now is the time to put our kids first and pass universal school choice. Paid for by Yes Every Kid.
The NBA playoffs are here, and you can turn crossovers into cash with FanDuel. Just visit FanDuel.com/WIBC right now and place a $5 bet, and you'll get an instant $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. I'm looking ahead to the NBA Finals. I'm thinking the Milwaukee Bucks are going to beat the Phoenix Suns. And here's what I love about betting on FanDuel. They have those great promotions every day. It's safe and secure, and you get paid instantly when you win your money in your account just like that. And there's no better place to bet all the playoff action than America's #1 sports book. That's FanDuel.com/WIBC to sign up and get $150 in bonus bets when you bet your first $5. FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. 21 plus and present in Indiana. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Mother, also called mom, doubles as chauffeur, ATM, and someone with great advice and unconditional love. This Mother's Day, make her day with fine jewelry from Shane Company. We have gifts for every mom, and everyone special in your life who's like a mom to you. What's great about Shane Company is our endless selection of options. With so many diamonds and colorful gemstones to choose from, we can help you create a one-of-a-kind necklace for mom. Pick a favorite color or choose a birthstone to represent each family member. We source our gemstones from around the world and hand-select the most beautiful ones, so whatever you create for mom, it'll be awesome. Something personal that reflects her style and all your love. When's her birthday? We have Zodiac Charm necklaces for every sign. Visit us today or shop online at shaneco.com and get free express shipping. Whether you spend a little or a lot, you're going to crush it with a Mother's Day gift from Shane Company.
Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and shaneco.com.
This is Scott Willis running for mayor of Westfield. As a colonel in the United States Marines, I stood up for our country, our families, and our values. As mayor, I have the leadership and vision to make Westfield a world-class city. How do we build a world-class city without losing the qualities we love? We do it with transparency, integrity, and smart leadership. I am a lifelong Republican. I'll work to diversify our tax base and to lower residential taxes. On Election Day, experience matters. I'm Scott Willis, and I'd be honored to have your vote.
Paid for by Willis for Westfield.
One simple act, so much good. Thank you to the 170 million people who have signed up as organ, eye, and tissue donors from organdonor.gov. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
This is Danny Reinhardt with Reinhardt Heating and Cooling. Give us a call for any of your heating and cooling needs. We're here to serve you. 317-745-4526.
Reinhardt is your trusted local independent American Standard Air dealer.
Matt Baer has a look at the roads.
All right, Hammer northbound 65, the off-ramp to Lafayette Road. Yeah, it's a vehicle tapped out right now in the center lane, blocking it, but the ramp is open, just partially blocked. Northbound 37 south side stopped. Epler 465, it's a work zone. East side, northbound 465, pockets of stop-and-go traffic from 70 up to 69. And a crash, Fairfield Avenue at Balsam Avenue. Traffic sponsored by Indy Decorative Concrete. Imagine the possibilities of getting the backyard of your dreams. Expand your living space with an Indy Decorative Concrete patio. Indy Decorative Concrete, the patio experts. Big enough to service, small enough to care. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
52 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
Okay, we're back. Second segment here with Daisy from the Chicks on the Right. The woke Anheuser-Busch marketing lady who thought it was a good idea to slam Bud Light's, their customer base and put, not only insult their customer base by calling them a bunch of fratty. We want to get away from the frattiness, and then decide to put this impish man who dresses up like a little girl to be their spokesman. She's been placed on leave.
What does that even mean? I don't put on leave. I mean, just fire her already.
That's fancy talk for it took 9 months to destroy a historic brand. That's what that means.
Right.
That's just fancy talk, Daisy.
It's just fire her. She's a complete loser. She sucks at her job. She failed miserably. Just fire her already. It's just so stupid. And then when they came out with that ad, you guys have seen the follow-up ad that they did with the horses. They tried to be all patriotic. It was so disingenuous. It was it's like the guy that totally screws you over, and then he comes to you with flowers, and you're like, screw your flowers, man. I don't want...
Hold on, let me write that down. That doesn't work. Hold on, let me write that down, cross that off of my apology list.
It's just so disingenuous. It's because she not only said she wanted, their customer base, the fratties. It's two fratties. Yeah. She insults their customer base. She doesn't want them drinking their beer, and she only wants the trans community to drink their beer. What a disaster.
Which is a very small percentage, and that when Dylan Mulvaney took that sip of beer when he was doing the little commercial, that was his very first sip of beer ever.
He didn't like it at all.
So let me ask you a question, Daisy. As a red-blooded American woman, if Bud Light came out with a new commercial and just owned it and said, "Listen, we screwed up. We made a mistake. We put faith in an ad campaign that was totally wrong. We admit it. We apologize. We hope you take us back. Let's drink some beer. Let's watch some football. We're sponsoring the NFL draft." Would that move the needle for you at all, or is it just over for Bud Light?
God,
I don't think it's over.
I don't think it's completely over, but it's going to take them. It's going to take them some time to get in the good graces of the American people again, who were very loyal to them for so long, and then they literally just did a big FU to all those people who were loyal to them. And so I think it's just going to take some time. It's going to take some time to get them back.
I believe it was Chris Brown who once said, and I quote, "Those hoes ain't loyal," Daisy. What are you working on at Chicks on the Right?
Oh my gosh, so much stuff. We're talking a lot about this protection of women and girls and sports act, and how, listen, Democrats are not on the side of women. We're talking a lot about that, and how, women need to start fighting back about this garbage, and how, it's feminism is dead, all that kind of stuff. We're just talking a lot about that. And also we have a meet and greet this Saturday night in Phoenix. We're really excited about that. So they're going to be traveling. And Mock's coming to see me today, which is why she's not on the show with me right now. She is actually traveling en route to Texas. So you guys check us out all over the place, chicksontheright.com/links. That's where you can find us.
Daisy, you are the best. We love you. We'll talk to you next week.
Thank you, guys.
The Hammer and Nigel Show.
Why Window Nation? Why right now? Because the longer you have those old drafts,